hope you're having a wonderful day. It is November 24th, 2025, the week of Thanksgiving. So remember, Thursday is going to be closed. I think Black Friday is going to be a half day as well, but we actually woke up to a lot here. There was good talks about seasonality. I think Jim Cramer, I said that to the other guys. I was laughing at it. I think Jim Cramer was disappointed we went up. But you're doing pretty good. It's led by Google and a lot of healthcare stocks. There's a rumor of an extension of the ACA, and then we're going to possibly hear from Trump today on healthcare. A lot of those stocks are going up, especially the managed care HMOs. And then you had Google, that whole Gemini thing. We've been talking about it a lot. They actually got a really well-received reception, and people were saying even Sam Altman was getting a little nervous. So I still think it's going to be bumpy. If we could hold up for the first couple of hours without anything kind of giving back, this would be definitely a stabilization day. I think after 3 down weeks in a row on the NASDAQ, I believe it's something like that. So yeah, it's been so far, it's the worst 2008, worst November since 2008. So we will see how it plays, my friends. But before we get into any of that, before we get started, my friends, you know what we got to do here at the Cult. Before we chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made the sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the Cult, the people here want to give a huge special shout out. Active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country, even the families. Thank you for everything you have given. We're about to start Thanksgiving. You're going to hear a lot of people tell you what they're thankful for, man. And for real, the freedom that we have in this country, how awesome it is. I mean, the awesome people who have always been willing to serve from the day I've been alive and before that, man. It's a community, man. That's why we also shout out to, doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, everybody, man. And at the end of the day, though, I'm very grateful, man, for those of you who have served this country, who have both advanced the freedom and have shown in so many ways what this great nation is about. God bless every single one of you, and I do hope, beyond the nice, pretty words, man, I do hope that we can help you out here. We got to make some noise for the homeless veterans, but those of you who are not, man, I hope you use all of these resources. I hope you save your 10%. I hope you get a long-term. I hope you use all of your advantages and benefits, any VA loan, whatever it may be, bro. And believe me, I don't even want the commission. You don't need it. I'm saying this in general for all of y'all, because y'all got the discipline. Y'all have went through it. If anybody should be owning the 10%, if anybody should be owning the land, I do think it should be you, and you are trained for it. Everybody else, man, happy Thanksgiving, right? I hope values, appreciation, these are stock terms as well as real life. So God bless every single one of you. Big shout out to the vets and their families and everybody else. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Send in the judge! Oh, it's game time, baby. Horn! Oh, man. God bless America. Are you kidding me? Are you ready? Chattadonia. It's going to be a great day. I don't know if anybody told you that yet. I know it's early, but you should have heard that by now. And if not, you could tell yourself that every day. Every day. So, we got about a minute and a half. I do have a couple of plays. I'm going to be watching Google, CNC, NVO. They failed the lotto ticket. The whole Alzheimer's thing, if you guys remember, we've talked about that one. I'm glad it came out before the end of the year, but it just didn't come out good. Biogen, they're benefiting off of that, and they got news of some peptides. Who else was the other one? Eli Lilly, they actually reacted negative to that. And then Baba and K-Web, there was an update on QN, their little AI. And then ALHC, that's one of those healthcare companies. But they also got an upgrade by your boy, what's his name? Was it JP Morgan? I think so. I even heard a lot of drama on JP Morgan and MSTR over the weekend, but again, everything is up, so none of that is really reflecting. So that being said, my friends, I hope you are doing good. I hope you are blessed, and let's have a good day. I hope you have a good day. You make it a good day, dog. You make it a good day. You know what I say? You make it a good day. So, let's see where it leads us. Let's see where it leads us. How much time is there? Oh, yeah, only 10 seconds. So, yeah, man, God bless you. Please don't post any plays, post any info. Follow the rules and get a long term. That will help you a lot. Yeah, was it margin on MSTR? They were saying there's like a huge short position. Round one. Fight. All right. So, plant. All right, 0.6. So I guess NASDAQ's going to be up a little bit more. Let's see if those Googles actually moved. So again, Google's the main one, bro. They're even kind of calling it a deep seek moment, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Oh, shit. Those did go up. No way. All right. So yeah, even those fucking near the monies, they popped, or out of the monies, they popped a little bit. Not bad. I'll ride out some of those. And then again, I like the CNCs. And then, yeah, any put plays were slashed. Even though it's only 0.5%, that's actually kind of crazy. You're like barely up. But again, the vibe over the weekend, the fact that nothing bad happened, considering, and then even feeling good towards all of the tech, people are reacting. You got 1% on the NASDAQ. Xi Jinping and Trump hold a phone conversation. Oh, that's how we're starting off. Sec. Damn, the XBIs are going in. Whatever that ATKR is, too. That one's running. Alright, some of the out of the monies on Google are already chilling out. Womp, womp. But yeah, no, they started off really strong. No, it's just fucking the spreads. Remember, Google moves pretty slow, but that one's actually very good. Long term. It's interesting. Some of the put plays from if they had a little bit more juice, some of them aren't bad, but anything from even Friday, those, if you grabbed any over the weekend, they're not good. I'm getting rid of them. No fucking way. Alright, yeah, they're selling everything. Nice. Oh, even NVIDIA. So any of those post-earnings plays, they're actually catching a bit as well, too. That one's actually fascinating. And then UNH, too. All of the healthcare ones. I like the CNCs, but you guys know my vibe with it. The leaps are killing it. Yeah, I mean, watch out for Japan, too. I think just everybody's been talking about the bonds. I don't think it'll be too big of an issue, and if we calm down, but it is still an area of focus. And then, yeah, so SPY already went up by 0.3, 0.4, 4 minutes. You're going a tenth of a point. Oh, NVRI, dude. I forgot about that one. Wasn't that the one that sold off the unit? Yeah. That one's a very interesting one. That was on Friday, so it might just be one of those day 2 reactions. And then where's Unch? So, yeah, UNH coming down. Those premiums are up. And then pretty much wait... once we hear from the healthcare stocks, they're either going to continue a lot or they're going to chill out. And then there's Google. But pretty much if that rumor about Obamacare, if they confirm it, I think you'll get another leg. And then if not, depending on what they announce, you're gonna get that reaction. What's this? Old Baba plays came up too? I had some old small dead ones. The fuck? Hi. Enviri. Dizzle. AMD's actually up there, pretty nice. Intel. I haven't even put up NVIDIA yet. So NVIDIA 179. Again, remember on Friday there was those comments. Then you got decent spread on the Googles. Those apples, if any free apples are up, Apple's doing great. Again, Google is the star of the show out of all of this. So again, I think you guys have heard us. You've heard us talk about Gemini a lot, but even over the weekend, it was well received. And you heard the other stuff from your boy, Sam Altman. There was like internal memos that people said he was kind of freaking out. But yeah, they are calling it a little mini DeepSeek moment. The question was what you had last 2 weeks, was that it, or is it just starting? So there's NVIDIA above 180 again. I want to see those. Again, the old premiums from post-earnings, some of them died, and then some of them came back pretty good. What are the ones on Friday? CNC. So see if CNC is either going to give up half of that or it's actually going to keep moving again. Just literally every time. And then I know UNH and Humana already gave up the early morning ones, but then Oscar was one of the bigger ones, and then ACHC, I believe. Was it ACHC? This is one of those. And then NVIDIA. Actually, NVIDIA premiums, some of them are coming down. Yeah, you're bouncing off of the morning, and they're just holding a decent value from Friday. 'Cause remember, Friday had a little bit of a bounce. Kind of. So yeah, you're just holding that. There was not really any decay. You messed with it all weekend. You made an app you wanted to for years and you knew nothing about coding. Isn't it amazing? I'm glad to hear, man. I'm glad to see y'all taking some moves. Well, dude, I think a lot of people did the switch from ChatGPT. But even just playing around with it, people were very impressed. And we'll talk about it a little later. There's it like changes the landscape just in terms of like the whole chips processing. Again, remember I think I tweeted it about the local models. It kind of all ties into all this. But yeah, I did hear about a lot of people just canceling and going to Gemini 3. Because again, if you are going to spend $200 a month or whatever. Bloom Energy on the high, Google, NVIDIA. So yeah, NVIDIA contracts are kind of lagging here. Where's Broadcom and Oracle? Oracle straight up 5. Broadcom's still down. So they're struggling. CoreWeave only up by 2. So again, these are the credit ones. But we'll see how they fare. But yeah, Broadcom just went straight up. And then Tesla too. There's a lot of things up by 4.5% right now. So yeah, Nasdaq's up by 1.6, 5.8. Dow's only up by 0.1. So that's not too hot. And then Russell's up by 0.4. Yeah, Google's insane. Yeah, equal weights actually break even, about to go negative. So keep that in mind. This is for now all tech. So right now the SPY equal weight's about to go down. So remember, some of that like rotation that we saw the other day, I don't think that's coming into play. And then NVIDIA's finally going. Oh, PSN. Alright, I want to take some, but I'm going to ride them. I'm going to ride the Googs. Google 315. It's very good, Habibi. It's very, very good. All right, NVIDIA 2. So watch out for that because it's not all of them. I mean, Broadcom's up 5 and a couple of others, but then there is still a little bit of weakness. in some of the other tech names. That's why it's all tech for now, but you do have the equal weight and Dow kind of struggling. So it's not all one direction. Even though everybody did wake up feeling good, that broadening out isn't there. Remember, last week at certain times, you were broadening out on some of those bounces, or even while tech was selling off, these were going up. Yeah, XLV. XBI is ripping again. Lutnick, once EU sets digital framework, we are comfortable we can work on resolving outstanding cases such as steel and aluminum. There was something on rare earth this morning, but it wasn't with a public one. CSTL. PayPal on the low. Financials are red. So JP Morgan's down, a couple of other banks. Interesting. Citi's about to go red. Nivda, Apple. We're back to managed care. What was that other one? There was one more managed care one. ALHC. That was the one. Yeah, so they got to upgrade from JP Morgan. They're holding up. AMD's going. And then there is an auto event with Santander. I just don't know if it's going to be important. All right, man. So SPY's already coming back to open. Still a decent amount. Only problem is equal weight. So, again, you are getting downside pressure in the other ones. Oh, I do have a pretty picture to show you. They're reiterating the China-Trump thing. And then U.S.-Ukraine plan now contains 19 points. Not yet finalized. CRISPR, more biotech, more medical. Again, the medical ones are really like the UNH, Humanas, the bigger ones. That if it's not managed care or HMOs, they didn't go up as much, or they've already given off their gains. And then you are going to get confirmation too. Boeing and Netflix. Netflix down to 104. So keep in mind, you are going to get that oil news today. So that'll move some things around. Coin. All the cryptos are up. Expedia moving. Booking had an upgrade in the morning. So yeah, if you could broaden out, it'd be nice. If you don't broaden out, then this is going to be a little bit, again, more bumpy and a little bit more hesitation. But yeah, if equal weight could go up and then you get lifted up there even with some of the Russell. Remember, Friday, wasn't the Russell up like 3 or something? It was one of those days that the lifetime goes through. Netflix? No. I mean, you've asked me that before, and I've answered it for you, brother. I remember vividly. But I'm not a fan of buying the high names. So, I guess I'll show you the pretty picture. So, in 2025 so far, only 37% of the S&P has outperformed. That means, I think, like, 63% of stocks on the S&P are trading less than the overall gain. So those are not all bad companies, but I mean, we're up like 400% on Netflix in our long term, which is kind of wild to even say. But yeah, I wouldn't really be going for those. China G clarified China's position on Taiwan. Yeah, you're getting updates. Both sides should expand list of cooperation. NVO, I think it might be. This 43, it's like 43 or 42, a new price. I mean, this is definitely one that I like. Is it at 4? It says 2.8. I have to double check it because I know they like move it around. Or I think it's not like it's not a fixed dividend, but around 4% yield is exactly what I'm looking for. China Xi to Trump, U.S. relations maintain positive momentum. Meta's on the high. Baba is actually reacting to that. And then Broadcom, Meta again. Again, Google plays. Even the out of the monies are starting to ramp up here a little bit. And then CNC too if you want the healthcare. of the divvy cut? I don't know. I think the real risk with NVO is if they kind of pull a Pfizer. But for now, Pfizer hasn't backfired, but I think NVO has a lot of money. They have a good amount of money. Remember, they've grown very, very large from what they were. But the risk with NVO is if they start wasting the money. So if they, right now they're going through this board stuff, but if they start like buying companies like way too much money, again, they were just trying to fucking bid with Pfizer too, and they keep buying a lot of things like expensive, and then they burn that capital, and then this situation stays the same. I think that's the real risk. That's where we start talking divvy cut. So I think for now though, isn't there dividend variable? Yeah, because I remember 42, 43, but that says 2.8, but that's kind of been the metric we've been looking for. Google's still at the high, Meta as well now. So it's mainly all tech. I mean, the Dow is literally in the red. And then even the, what's it called? Even the memory stocks are starting to go up now too. Umbrella, to say they're the most mispriced mega cap growth stock on Earth. I wouldn't say the most on Earth, no. I do think they're undervalued, but then, I mean, again, they're going through, this is their worst year on record, and they're going through pretty much #1 spot to flipping, and even to the point where, again, their whole entire board is like in a giant shakeup. So I think it's good value, but I wouldn't get that confident. That's too confident for me. Oracle and Super Micro, if you want to flip them, but I don't think I would put those in the long term. I mean, is Oracle even red on the year? Maybe if Oracle goes red on the year, I would consider that in the long term, kind of like Apple, if that makes sense. As we talked about from the, remember when we were looking at Oracle, Apple and CRM, and Apple was down like 30%. I could vibe with that, but I would need Oracle red on the year. Give me another $50. And then I'd consider it. But then again, they do have the private credit issue, as well as what's it called? The whole Sam Altman thing. Again, Sam's getting worried, and if Gemini really starts to take over, and then think about it, Microsoft's already selling off. That's interesting. Is Amazon still in the green? Yeah, they're getting a Black Friday coming up. But yeah, Microsoft first one to go red. Even Meta's holding up. But what was it? So yeah, like if people were already worried about Sam Altman, like again, they're like, where do you make $13 billion a year? Where the fuck are you gonna get the other money for your commitment, right? And then now Google Gemini starts taking some of that revenue, and people start switching over to that. It really starts to look a little bit more worrisome. So I don't know. I think Oracle could still survive without that, but then again, they are tied to that to a decent amount. It's certain tech, but even then, the chips aren't too strong. It's all the NVIDIA ever since. Give it maybe a couple more days, and then we need to just get out of this bumpiness. But for now, it's Google. All the money is going to Google. I mean, just take a look. It's already up, what, 5.6? So there's a couple of tech names that are up. That's that. Elon will troll Sam at 1.2, possibly. Broadcom, that's one that bounced really good. That was when I was shorting, but we got out of all of those on Friday. I only had one memory short and then a small QQQ, but I already closed that. I kept the memory one, but those are actually going up. keep Yeah, Broadcom's insane. Google is crazy. But again, I thought Warren Buffett was tripping for a little bit, but I'm telling that Gemini, you guys have heard me talking about it from last week. I was tripping out. And then again, a lot of people just in the AI space, it was very well received. It's the United States DeepSeek moment. And then again, there's a, depending on what Google does, I mean, it's all theory for now, but it does look like Google is taking a risk. They kind of want to change the current models here and how it works, and it would be very disruptive, but it could threaten their ad business. You got to think, if Google and Gemini, if it all does very, very good, you have to think about it. Like, the big difference is that, like, Gemini and Google and using AI like that is that you could search things and think about how people are going to do that, but now you could get to the answer without clicking on an ad. So that's the bad side for their core business, but otherwise the upside potential and just, again, giving you another route to go, pretty much after Google and Gemini, you could have a really good AI without having to have an NVIDIA chip. And that is very disruptive. And that's the simple way to put it. I don't know, maybe last week was the rotation. Remember, last week you did have a lot of rotationary elements. A lot of those companies did come up. So right now, remember, Equal Weight was killing it on Friday. You guys remember that, right? Remember, Equal Weight recovered that little sell-off way faster than anything. But you guys know I still think we're in Chop City. So again, if we do not hit, like I've been saying here, if we do not hit a new high, and you have to either get above, you got to get to 6,900 again. If you don't get past 6,900, I mean, yeah, this is going to be brutal. So again, people woke up feeling good. Nothing bad happened over the weekend. And that was after, there was potential it could. WTF on the high. But yeah, and then Google is a lot benefit off of Google, but then a lot are going to suffer under Google. All in the big tech space. So yeah, but healthcare, certain staples, all of that. And like I was telling y'all, man, I just showed you that chart. I don't know if you want me to share it with you, but do you guys know that there's like several names on the S&P that are red and many below 30%? So again, that's the opportunity, I think, when it's all said and done. And as we get into next year, I would not be surprised if a lot of the stocks that were humiliated end up doing good and vice versa. Or we get a little continuation. Why is Oracle running up now? So see, maybe we had to work through there, but Broadcom was already up. Watch CoreWeave too. Remember, CoreWeave hit $60 on Friday. That was the price we were playing it at in the beginning. But yeah, Oracle's taking some candles now. Broadcom's the other one doing good. Who else? ARM. Yeah, OpenAI Link Big Tech is the one red today. Yeah, it's a very great way to put it. I agree. And then gold. The oil news, they're going to be coming out with the SPR update, the reserves. They're going to give an update. I don't know if they're going to announce purchases, but I do know at some point today we are going to hear we're going to hear about the SPR. And then you're going to hear the healthcare, whether or not we get the ACA extension or the little Trump plan that Trump has in store. Tesla getting candles. Meta's still running. You're up 1-4. Yeah, well, remember, Chop City, though, could quickly turn into the most hated rally. That's another setup as well, for real, because then you get a rally on all of them. But like I said, the hard part is you're not going to know. The thing I told everybody in the morning was I would just buy on a red day, or if you really believe in either a rally or downside, buy it when it's opposite. Get your puts when it's green, buy when it's red, and I think that'll help you there, or make sure you get some time. But it's all leading in now to the next Fed meeting. And then after that, it's just end of the year. And then we'll see if this seasonality for the end of November, if it actually comes in. I would hunt for the long term too. I mean, NVO might end up being a gift. I think you're right there. And then who else was there? I think Hershey's just came down. Target's still a little lower. But yeah, you got a couple here. Oh, even Pfizer. Pfizer, I wanted a little lower, but again, going into next week, trials were a failure. Yeah, the Alzheimer. You guys remember when I was telling you that, right? Because I kept talking about the NVO one. And it played out to the downside, but even then, we talked about this one because it was a lotto ticket, but then if they didn't do good, I said it was still going to kill the stock just because they needed something good. So, like, usually if, like, that's not their core business, but the way they've been trading, it's like they needed a win right there. So the fact that they didn't get it, I mean, I think they got punished, rightfully so. But yeah, it's they did not do, there's zero update or zero like efficacy on the Alzheimer's trial that they were studying with Ozempic. It hurt Eli Lilly for a little bit too, because again, essentially, if NVO could pull it off, they would be able to pull it off. But yeah, man, you got a lot of names. A lot of names for that long time. And where are we going to get a deposit? Sipping on some Fizzerv. I think Fizzerv is the worst on the S&P. Dude, wasn't Hershey's just at fucking 160, bro? The fuck is this? Every time Hershey's gets to that level, dog, it rips. So yeah, like 2-3 weeks ago, you guys remember I was bringing up Hershey's? Oh, I'm kind of mad at that one. Every time it gets to the buy zone or like near it, I wait like 2 days and then it's gone. I guess chocolate is in vogue. Always has been. What else? Adobe over Figma? Yeah, 100%. I don't think, because Adobe just, you have better standing. 10 years. It's already been around longer than most people have been alive. People are getting mad at Adobe, but you do have a generation of creatives that'll probably never leave that company. Where's Target? Pod, Orla. Yeah, Target's even on the list too. I mean, technically even here's the low end of a new price or the high end. But yeah, they were just down as well. I'm doing it, man. So yeah, if you guys, I would like you all to pay attention. I mean, last time I made sure everybody paid it. There's a lot of ads on this website. I will send it to you. But yeah, go to you could get it any way you want, man. Even Molina, ask Michael Burry. Even he agrees with starting at the bottom. But Lulu, Deckers, I mean, these are down 58, 56% on the year. Some of them are up multi-year. But if I were you, I would be looking at least you could find at least one good pickup for next year. For your long term, just go look at the S&P 500 and go see the names that are down. But like, what are we talking about here now? So yeah, it's 24 names or 25 names are down. Last week it was like 30, 35. So a couple of them went up on that rotation. But you have over 25 names that are down 30% on the year. The amount of names that are down 20 is about 70. Again, the market's still up 15, 20% on the year as well too. So you got to think about that. That's a 40% swing, and that's awesome. Again, as long as it's going to be around for 10 years, I mean, this is a great way to shop. I did think about Colgate, yeah. You might want to go back. We had a lot of these talks there, though. But if you ask me the third repeat, I might have to ban you, dog. So I might give you guys all 3 repeated questions. But yeah, because we talked all about this. We talked about toothpaste and all of those. So, but yeah, I do like Procter & Gamble especially. I even flipped Procter & Gamble. I'm glad I got rid of those on Friday. I'm glad. But I would love Procter & Gamble again. Did PayPal bring back their divvy? But yeah, I do like them. The cart worked good, bro. I'm glad to hear. To many, many more. Peloton on the high. Okay, Oracle's wake. If Oracle could catch up, watch CoreWeave and ARM because they'll probably catch a bid too. There is a lot, dude. I'm telling you. The long term. I'm surprised I'm excited we're going to get another deposit. So I'll be able to work a little bit more. Because the small account, we've been sitting on the negative. And then the big account, we're going to get another deposit. Oh, I love it. TRI. Oh, Baba. Is that why? That's probably why those dead premiums came back up. If you have Baba earnings tomorrow. And then keep in mind, too, though, and that might be, I don't know who needs to hear this. So if you are worried about chasing and you're like, it's going to go up, but you're scared and we're in Chop City, you could just wait till we fucking break out and then just buy China. Not a recommendation. But that's kind of the idea, is that worst case scenario, if everything reignites, I mean, China is going to have its thing. Speaking of the devil, do we got a China headline? Those are starting to move. And then SPY above VWAP, but look at the high ticker. You're gassing, and then a lot of China names are running. I mean, you did get Xi Jinping ones earlier. NRSN, pivotal phase 3 for ALS. Everything's kind of going. That was the small tech bio moving off that. Is it the equal weight waking up? Because that's what you need here today. Otherwise, first 30 minutes, yeah. Equal weight's trying to go. It's kind of matched up with the SPY, though. I mean, SPY is up by 0.8, but, like, look at the overall shape here. So, see, though, if equal weight goes up and we broaden out, then you got a lot more room to go. It'll be a lot better. The NVO thoughts? I think you just missed them, brother. But I'm watching it. So, if if anything, follow this YouTube channel. I'll put it on the post tab and follow my Twitter. And if I do end up buying it, you'll at least know. But really nothing's changed except this is all according to plan. If we've talked about the Alzheimer's thing. So yeah, I'm just waiting on one more thing. One more. Uno más, habibi. That's the Spanish Arabic in me. Uno más, habibi. Do you ever hear that in normal dialect? That's that. All right, SPY going up. Watch if we do broaden out, though. Let me get you guys a checkup. It's 7:01. So Dow Jones, you got 11 green, 19 in the red. NASDAQ, 56 green, 45 red. This is kind of like Friday, right? Friday you had like 80 or 90 in the green. SPY, you only have 201 in the green, 300 in the red. So SPY has more names to go red to green, and then both of them are kind of matched equally. Damn, they dumped PG, bro, after. So again, look, all of those like values that remember, PG ripped last week after all that. So yeah, a little bit more risk on, to be honest with you. You're seeing it in certain areas, but especially the bigger tech that did good. But now even the AI, the OpenAI linked ones are starting to catch up. An NVO, Elijah. Yeah, even Oracle's starting to take off. But watch out. That one needs to get above like 4% to be in the same club. And then SPY's about to break out here. You're going up a little higher. Dexcom, a couple more biotechs. So remember, biotechs, your XBI. Where was it? I think, wasn't it at like 113? Was it here? No, I think this was your Christmas gift. It was at one of these levels. So yeah, XBI, Merry Chrism. Man, even the fucking out of the monies are ripping. Habibi. Oh, yeah. So I think your XBI, even out of the monies, you're back to 100%. We made it free at like 115 last time. Oh, shit. They added new contracts on fucking XBI. Those little scammers. Oh, so be mindful. Again, if you haven't made those free, I probably would. Because now you have a bunch more new contracts on there. 75% chance of December rate cuts. Yeah, remember, I think this is the delayed reaction from Williams. And like I'm saying, I mean, it's not, sadly, I think you're going to get it. The real question is just January and then 2026. But they're playing some bull. I cannot believe Mr. Nick Timmerhouse, man. We talked about that here in the morning, but they're trying to like, they're going to hear a new narrative. They're trying to make people believe that the Fed is a democracy. It's not. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the chairman could do whatever he wants. Otherwise, you wouldn't really have heard about a guy named Volcker. Well, yeah, they are trying to kind of promote that idea there. past that. JP Morgan, again, they had some bad headlines. See if we get out and then see if we could get out of this high, and then if equal weight could go. But if equal weight goes, you'll start to broaden out, and I'm sure some of the tech will chill out, and then, or they'll both go at the same time. Even Nvidia's trying to get up. And then Google. Dude, Google's 5.7. Oh, yeah. Citi, Goldman, all of the banks are actually running again. Yeah, so Citi, why do they look straight up? And then MDT. Oh, Biogen, I forgot. Biogen is benefiting off of your boy going down. And then they had an update on peptides. FDIC says higher bank profits due to net interest income and lower provision expenses. They're getting pumped. Amazon Leo debuts new gigaspeed antenna. I did not know they did this. How they do this? Let's see. Staples are just murder. That's all the Procter & Gamble Walmart effect from last week. NVRI. What was that other one? What was that small biotech? NRSN. Russia Black Sea port has resumed fuel exports. Elevance on the low. That's a healthcare. They were up a lot more. ALHC. That one kept going. That was the JP Morgan one. They went up another 3. And then CNC's even going. So again, once we hear about that, that's going to be the next catalyst. So any of the healthcare stocks, if you actually get a confirm or deny, that's going to cause a big move. It's already there. Carvana, Strategy's going up. Now Meta. So you did hit a new high on non-equal weight. You're up by 1.9 on the NASDAQ. 1.0 on the SPY. Even Dow starting to come up. That's a little bit of the broadening out you just saw. Yeah, so equal weight's still trailing behind here. It's just going to be primarily led here. If Google, like again, Google, Oracle, Microsoft, any of the ones kind of lagging here, Meta, or Google's the leader. The other laggers, if they catch up to Google, then you're still going to be able to melt up. But if you really want to get out of this like weird danger zone, you need the broadening out. So watch even too on any of these like hit a high and go red. See if anybody in the broader sector is able to start coming up. Martin Shkreli shorting Capper, biotech. It's only $5 though, and down 13. Oh, that sucks. I like the meat on the bone, Habibi. You know. So that way you make a good to put money, but you do what you like, Habibi. Who's the other one? Biogen. I really like Biogen, man. I wish you got it earlier for a flip, but they're getting into peptides. Who would have thought? Oral peptides. Yeah, they're fucking changed shit. U.S. designates Cartel de las Soles as foreign terrorist organization. Yes, Volcker. Bro, it's annoying. I can't believe... I was just telling y'all, Nick Timmerhouse fell off, bro. I can't believe he did that. Because, like, straight up, bro, it's... like, they're trying to put this idea. They're like, oh, even if Trump gets a new Fed chair, he might have his hands tied. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, if that was the case, you know, that you wouldn't... Volcker, you would have never heard about Volcker. If that was the case in the 70s, Volcker, the board would have voted against him, and that's it. So it's just like, that's just not how it works. The other board members can give a vote, and they could express their opinion. But the whole entire decision is on the chair. The chair could do whatever the fuck he wants. So it's very odd, but I think that's what they're trying to confuse people with. Like I said, it's going to be a narrative. It's kind of political campaigning where they're going to try to make it seem as if it's unacceptable that the chair does whatever he wants, when in reality it's always been like that. I mean, even at, again, the first like 70% of Powell's term, none of you gave a about any of the Fed people, because it was all Powell. Powell did whatever he wanted. Even then, think about it, BTFP. There's a lot of things. So it is interesting to hear that from some well-respected Fed watchers. That's why I was a little disappointed, and especially if you know the history of the Fed, even going back to Lyndon B. Johnson and some of the other ones. It's just like, what are you saying? The Fed chair is the king of the castle. Yeah, you could lose a vote, but he's the one who could do whatever he wants. So I think the voting is pretty symbolic, as odd as that may sound. But even then, go look up the history, and then also too see what happens after that. Greenspan did whatever the hell he wanted to. They all did. I know long-term's loving today. Long-term gave up 10% from the highs, though. You guys know that? The long-term at one point was up, here. Yeah, bro. Like, long-term was at, like, 34,000, and now we're at 31, which isn't bad. I mean, you still got a nice year to date. We're still in the lead, but that drainage from October, bro, holy shit. Think about it. That's 1 year of deposits in a month. But then again, the account is a lot bigger now. I'm so proud of him. Yeah, and I'm proud of all of you who got a long term. You know what I'm saying, man? I hope y'all keep letting it grow. Even our rebuild's not bad. See, the rebuild didn't have as much pain because, think about it, we don't have as many deposits. So in a weird way, the rebuild topped out in November. And then you went down, what, like $1,000? But this guy's catching up. I think by next year, this account will be bigger than the other one. I hope. It should be, unless the other one just balloons. Everybody in the CNC. Yo, nobody stand tough. Notice that this man's long term is not up. This day trade's got you gassed up. Now who's afraid of the big bad Fed? 1, 2, 3 into the 4. 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cut, 4. 4 cut, 3 cut, 2 cut, none. This guy ain't no mother in Fed chair. I know everything that he is. Probably scared. Okay, I'm sorry. He is old. He is fucking dumb. He did live in a trailer with Obama. Jerome Powell is a Uncle Tom. The market did get jumped by all 6 of you chumps. No, I think there's 12 of them. All right. How long till NVIDIA announces a deal with Google? I don't know, man. They might not. It's I'm telling you, very disruptive. There's 2 parts of it, and that's what you guys got to think about, is that if the Google rollout wasn't so fucking effective, like if Gemini wasn't such a dope product, then people wouldn't have been, there wouldn't really be that big of an effect. But yeah, now they got the hardware, they got the software, and they have the really good momentum of people. It's a product you want to use. That's it. Again, I mean, Google's been fucking banning me for half a decade. People who don't, you don't have to be a Google fan, but dude, Gemini is a very good product. And then that mixed in with, it was an update away from NVIDIA. They might work with NVIDIA, or if they want to step on their throat, they could in an odd way. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's a fascinating moment. And, I like a technology. Xi calls for peace efforts to resolve Ukraine crisis. Oh! What about the Gemini Peach, son? The Peach 3. Oh, Banana Nana Pro. How about Peachorama Pro? Bradley Frizzle. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Wow. It's beginning to look a lot like Peach Moss. Bradley Frizzle rolling through the chat. Oh my goodness. God bless you, brother. Happy Monday. Happy good Monday. Great Monday. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Chad? Woo! I know. I love the peach, man. We needed that. Always needed it. Always could use it. Tesla. Will the real Bradley Frizzo please stand up? We're getting a problem here. Y'all act like y'all never seen a peach before. Y'all's on the floor like Bradley came through the door. No way. He didn't just drop the peach, did he? I don't know why we keep getting, I think, the 8 Mile, man. All right, SPY starting to work up. Watch for the broadening out. That's all. If you get the broadening out, you're going to have a lot more opportunities. Otherwise, I'd keep it confined to tech and healthcare. But yeah, so Eco8's still lagging behind. But then a couple, like watch NVIDIA. NVIDIA's a name that's lagging that could come up today, surprisingly. So again, think about it. The money is going to Google. But then even Google's chilling out. Palantir's starting up right now as well. Look at the short velocity momentum. You are picking up here. So a couple more names. Biogen, 52-week high. Again, they're benefiting off of the failed NVO. And they had the peptides too. And then a lot of value is kind of like washed right now. So keep that in mind. Again, like even Oracle went up. So yeah, there's a lot of like mid-tier tech, lower tier tech that could go a lot. But then biotechs are doing great, even though healthcare is kind of 50-50. Overall, healthcare is not doing the best, but it's starting to ramp up. Actually, there's Pfizer. Oh man, I don't know if they're going to announce it, but like one of the end of the year catalysts coming into next year, it will be if Pfizer has dividends. Or not dividends, excuse me, buybacks. So again, most people don't know this. Pfizer cut their buybacks for the last like 2 years. So think about how the stock kind of performed like shit. Yeah, they didn't have all those billions of dollars buying it. But then they did spend like 100-something billion on companies. That's the thing I'm worried about with Pfizer. I don't like it at all. Because, like, you got to think about it. If Pfizer, if they spend all that money and all of those investments go bad, they're in a really shitty position. But then if all of those positions do good, then, oh, yeah, they're gonna kill it. And that's why I said we talked about it a little bit earlier here with your boy NVO as well. Palantir going. And then XBI, Merry Chrism. Oh yeah, and then where's Baba? Baba and Baidunius. I forgot Baidu hit 140. It's beginning to look a lot like long term. Damn, those went up 90? Habibi. Abercrombie down. That's crazy, actually. You remember when Abercrombie was going up hundreds of percent? What does it mean? They have a buyback? The stock, companies buy back their stock. So they'll, they'll take their profit and then low-key reinvest in themselves. I mean, it's criticized depending on how you want to look at it. And then usually it pays out the insiders, or that way. Most people don't know this, but it just like limits the impact of insider sales on the stock and then lowers the available stocks for sale, which theoretically increase the value of the remaining holders. But it's a good source of demand and a good sign of confidence in the company. But yeah, they haven't been buying back their stock in like 2 years, I believe. They've been buying a lot of other companies. But yeah, Abercrombie, I don't know if I would buy Abercrombie, but they are a decent company, as odd as that may sound. Remember, we were talking about the rise if you were here last year, but they don't really have too much debt, I believe. And they did good. But then anything retail, I mean, Deckers, Lulu, they're there. I did it, you guys. I feel bad. I feel really bad. I betrayed Nike, you guys. You don't want me to tell you. I betrayed Nike so hard. I mean, I still have it in the long term, and I still like the stock. Oh, dude, it's bad. You don't want to know. All right, let me go to the bathroom, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you my betrayal. I'll confess my sins.
Dollars to the deficit, and the only reason
follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity.
Real
Code News on Twitter.
The aggregate numbers. If the Supreme Court, as I believe it should, finds that those tariffs can't continue, then there's going to be a big hole in the budget that just
they'll figure out another way to get the tariffs, don't you think?
I think they have mechanisms that they will use to try and extend many of them, but they're much more cumbersome. They take more time. They won't be as broad. And I don't think it will be the equivalent. I do agree that they have other tools, but the reason they went to this tool is it was a blunt instrument that you could make broad policy with. So I just think I go back to the word I started with, uncertainty.
So tariffs haven't really rescued us on the deficit front. And if you believe they were meant to address the trade deficit, that's also wider year to date.
Right.
By like a quarter.
Yeah. I think that there's very little about the tariffs that makes sense except for the fact that it did give the administration the ability to say, watch out or we're going to put more of them out there, and that's created a negotiating environment. I don't think that's a good way for the U.S. to gain leverage. I don't think it's sustainable. I do think that for the moment it's leading to some conversations that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So I'm trying to be balanced in how I look at it. I don't see anything good that comes of ultimately having higher prices that level off higher, a global economy that is weaker because it's less efficient, and a smaller pie is not going to lead to better outcomes. You look at what Americans are worried about. They're worried about the cost of health care, they're worried about the cost of housing, they're worried about the cost of food, and for most Americans, that takes their whole paycheck. There's not a lot left after they've paid for health care, housing, and food. So when you have a fight in Washington about whether or not to allow an extension of support for health insurance, for millions of Americans, that means terrifying increases in costs or going without health care coverage.
You think it was worth shutting the government down, though, for a record amount of time?
I think two things came out of this shutdown that I think are going to be lasting. One is people recognize that the health care issue has to be dealt with. I don't know if they'll deal with it in the immediate months. They said they'll deal with it by the end of the year. We'll see. I hope they should. But I'm not sure that they will, and it won't go away because the issue is very real. The other is the focus on nutrition benefits, the SNAP benefits. I spent most of my career trying to protect the food stamp and the SNAP program because it's so essential to the well-being of lower middle class working Americans and poor Americans. I think more people understand that now than ever before when they see that an eighth of the country is exposed to extreme insecurity when SNAP benefits are in jeopardy. When you look at the economy, the lopsided economy, the overall number doesn't tell you how the whole economy is doing. People like us are doing just fine. People who are getting by paycheck to paycheck are hurting, and policy is going to have to respond to that.
You mentioned the possibility of a shock in your initial answer to Sarah's question. Obviously we don't know where they're coming from when they come. Do you have any sense as to when you say a potential shock, what you're thinking about?
Potential shock. All right. Yeah, you're close. You're close. My girl bought me a pair of Ons, and I fucking like them. I hate it. I feel like, because she's a spy and it's like propaganda, but like it's so comfy. Oh, it's this. Dude, I can't even tell you the last time I wore a shoe that wasn't a fucking Adidas or like a Yeezy or even a Nike. It's actually insane. But yeah, the ons, bro, they hit. And then I bought a pair for my dad because like I was like, you know what, he needs it too, because if they fit my weird ass feet, they fit his weird ass feet. And he was rocking some weird kicks, bro. You know, I don't know. My dad, he was wearing like flip flop shoes and just all sorts of weird shit. So I said, all right, we'll get him a pair. I wanted to try. I got my mom Hoka's last year. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen her wear them though. Actually, now I think about it, I don't know. I haven't asked her about him. She like wore them like twice. But yeah, I told you the one time I went to Miami and I saw the On store. That's where I was pretty impressed with. They just have the culture, the running culture. They had like running clubs and all that. But shit's made in Vietnam. That's why I said, come on, it's all proper. That's why. So is Nike. You've never heard of On? You probably have. You've probably seen them. They're very, very popular. Extremely popular in the last couple years. And then Hoka's too. SBs. You probably could wear them, man. My feet are weird. I can't be wearing everything. I need wide ass shoes, and they just don't make them. They just don't. You know that, you guys? I think it's very racist. It's very discriminatory towards Egyptian feet. Very hard for me to find a pair of shoes that actually fit me. Abbott continues to produce Liber 3 sensor to replace orders. Does not expect significant supply disruptions. So spy a VWAP, see if, again, equal weight, not rotating, but catching up. That's how you broaden out today. Otherwise, it's going to be a tech day. But for the meantime, they're there. And then if we could get past, it's already been an hour, give it like another hour and a half. As long as we don't sell this shit off and you don't get that random sell, the stabilization vibe for Monday will definitely be good. So we'll see. I have those ones. They're like slippers. The Ons aren't bad. That's what I'm saying. It's like they don't even have like shoelaces. They're like, they do, but it's just like nylon. BNTX with the pop, SE with the pop as well. Where's Tiz? Yeah, I think the Ons do wear out fast because they're pretty soft. But they're good for the beach, dude. I don't know how to describe it. I don't get like sand in my shoe. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like Ons at the beach, they get dirty, but like, nah, it's fire. I hate that I like these shoes, bro. My girlfriend talks a bunch of shit now because I hated them for the longest time. But then, yeah. Oh, it could be Google a little bit. But overall, it could also, anytime Google goes down, watch for what goes up. Because again, that is, or if they all go down at the same time. NVO's climbing, 3% off the bottom. Again, bad Alzheimer's news is the reason why. Cardinal on the high too. That's another healthcare. Molina. And then VIX on the low right now as we're going up. So we're either going to take off here or it'll get a little bumpy. But again, Meta's even leading. Apple is up, but not as much from the morning. And then Microsoft was the weak one. So Microsoft's barely up. Amazon, I think, is up because Black Friday coming up. Yeah, Intel's going up, TSM, AMD, fucking even Oracle for crying out loud. So yeah, they're all holding up pretty good. All right, so watch. You're getting that candle there. I think it's mainly tech, but a broadening out is what you want. If you could get everything going up with all the tech leading, yeah, there it is. You might just have to get through the Walmart and PG shit. Let's see. I think you still have 300 names down. So Dow's 15-15, half the Dow green, half the Dow red. NASDAQ is getting a little bit stronger, 60-40. And then SPY, 230 in the green, 270 in the red. So 30 names went green on the SPY. That's word to that broadening out. But yeah, if we could get that, that'd be better. There, where's Adabe? Adabe's in the red. Adabe's down 30% on the year. 27.5. Damn, TJX is still down 20 on the year? No way. So remember, TJX had the good earnings. No fucking way. No, it's up 20 on the year. I'm tripping. I read that wrong. I said how? Yo, G. There will be a large volume market on close. Oh, market close. Because they're rebalancing today. Nice. That's good info. I thought you meant, I was like, clothing? What do you mean the close? The close, Joshua, the close. Market closing. Wait, like it's closing or you wear it? Closing. The market closing. What? I don't. So it's going to close? Yes, it's going to close. You wear the clothes. Wait, how? NVIDIA, it's a weird moment, you guys. The Google Gemini was insane. And how it all played out, the real question is if Google is gonna try to disrupt or not, or if Google is gonna work with NVIDIA. If they work with NVIDIA, awesome. But this is the first opportunity where you could break away from NVIDIA and do it in a way that's still very effective. PRPTA, Keys, CLS, Sony. Okay, high ticker is going again. The Jack in the Box in the UAL. Actually, a lot of things are running. Alrighty. Dallas Fed Manufacturing minus 10.4 versus minus 5. Oh, wait, I see 20.5. Dallas, Texas manufacturing output 20.5 in November versus 5.2 in October. And then business activity was down 10.5. But manufacturing surged. And there's Biogen. There's Chipotle. Baidu's going. I mean, yeah, VIX got crushed. It's crazy because even this morning, dude, the move in the morning wasn't that big. I mean, Google up was kind of nuts, but the sentiment, dude, I don't know how to describe it, but like sentiment got washed in a good way. Like all that fear, and then again, everybody did max out on puts on Friday. So last week, even the whole week, really, the put protection, the skew, and every time that's happened, we've bounced. But then the other time that we bounced and then sold it off ended up being a historically bad day. So, but yeah, the sentiment, even then, because I don't think we're too far off of some of those lows that we were just dealing with, but people definitely felt a lot better. I mean, it's obviously something's up with the whole NVIDIA, or it's slower, but then they had good earnings to back it up. You could fight either the narrative with Google, but then go look at the earnings. The earnings did amazing. So that's what's kind of keeping it up. But coming into this, remember, this is the week of seasonality. This is now from here till the end of the month. That's where all of that money was supposed to come in. So you're pretty much, you either seasonality is going to save you or we wind up into another issue. But if seasonality saves us and we hit a new high, praise the Lord, you'll be out of Chop City. and then you'll probably get a nice little Santa rally. But other than that, if not, then yeah, Houston, we have the problem. Biogen again. I like the Biogens, but they were fucking insane. They're not easy to make a buy, you know? It's beginning to look a lot like long term. Again, even old Baba plays. I had a couple free ones that went negative and they came back. The early dissolving of Doge signaling. Oh, I heard about that in the morning. I remember they stopped it a long time ago and people would get mad at Elon, but I mean, sadly, it just, by the looks of it, I don't think our government will ever save money. It's too bureaucratic, and if they couldn't figure it out, everybody's kind of addicted to money and stimulus. It's a really weird thing, but I think it just kind of signals defeat in terms of saving money. Gemini Monad is now available to trade, deposit, and withdraw and stake on Gemini in select regions. What's that? I be Mizzle. Okay, Broadcom. Oracle came down. So some of the tech ones, even then, core, like Meta's doing good, but then, yeah, the NVIDIA and OpenAI, anything except Broadcom, that's the one that kind of is attached to that, but it kind of worked its way out of that. Oh, Gemini, like Gemini the fucking crypto. That makes sense. I was like, what the hell? What are they doing? Okay, I was like, calm down, Gemini 3. They're like, we're getting into crypto now. Yeah, and keep in mind too, crypto didn't fucking die over the weekend. You guys don't remember everybody was freaking out? How does one get a free play? Usually you have to buy more than one contract, and then it goes up. I mean, depending on how many you buy, it doesn't have to go up 100%. But the idea is that you buy a contract or several, and then it goes up in value, and then you sell as many contracts to get your initial investment back, and then everything else is your profit, which is free. So then, I have plays that I got all my initial investment back, but then I still own a contract or two. Here, let me see. I can show you the example with the XBI. We bought that October 9th. And I gave this one to everybody. This was my Christmas gift to the whole entire chat. No way. We were right here. So yeah, October 9th. We'll go to the option chain and you'll see it. But I was saying get either December or January. More time the better. We'll go December. 115s. Are you going to load, Habibi? Why you no load? How come no loading? No loadation? Why you no loadation the chart, Habibi? I can't even show you the option. Let me find. It's beginning to look a lot like long term. Yeah, these were out of the money at one point. Oh, come on. Send to quick quote. Why won't it load, man? So yeah, on October 9th, these contracts were $2. So let's say you bought 2 of them for $460. And then that one week it went to like $430. So you could have either sold one and got your money back and held the other, or if you even waited till today, they're now $600. So if you held till now, we already made it free over here. So I already have one for free, or a couple. But in this case, if you did 2 of them, and this one's a little more expensive. Let's say we even go out to the cheaper ones at the time, if you want a different example. Why you look like this one look so ugly? You know? Yeah, here you go. This will be a better one. Yeah. So these were $1.30. So let's say you bought 2 of them, spent $260. At one point, that was the day we made it free kind of shortly after. They hit $260. So you would sell back one of them, get your $260 back. You spent $260 for 2. Now you sell one for $260. You could hold the other play, and that costs you nothing. It is your money, though. Your account balance will reflect the profit, the value of that. So if it goes to 0, you will still lose money that you should have been yours. But now, worst case, though, you are playing with the house's money rather than kind of doing it yourself. So that was my Christmas gift to you guys, XBI on October 9th. You guys remember that, right? I wanted everybody to get at least one gift, and I said if it didn't work, that would be my Christmas gift. So then you'd be like, oh, Josh, I did it, and it didn't work. I lost money because of you. And then that would be my gift, you know, so you don't get too mad. You were just giving me a gift, even though I really don't benefit off of it. But now I could say I gave you all a good Christmas gift, because that thing ripped. And that was great timing, bro, on an index that doesn't really move too much. I think all around dubs, bro. All around dubs. So that is how you make it free. Oh, Whirlpool coming up. That's still going. Habibi. All right, man. We're starting to work your way up. I don't know if it's broadening out. It kind of is. Oof. Yeah, equal weight's a little higher, but Google and Tech Friends are still going. There's this SPY now. It's beginning to look a lot like long term. Nvidia went green. Like I said, that'll help it out, and then watch if the other ones go. But yeah, Nvidia is barely green. Watch Apple and Microsoft. Those are the ones. See, Microsoft's catching a bid now too. IREN, that's kind of one. That's up 10. That's kind of been benefiting. That's like the Nibis. Abbott going up. They had some update. Nasdaq is up over 2 now, 2.0. And then 1040. So it's still super early, man. It's only been an hour and 10 minutes. And like I'm saying, you know, as we woke up in the sentiment, I mean, it's a lot better than last week. And people are feeling the vibe with everything. I don't know if we have any updates on the PDT thing. I think they are going to change it, though. I think they are going to be lowering it, but I don't know when. And then you guys know, like, beginning of next year, like right when 2026 hits the calendar, there's a lot of benefits in terms of the taxes, and we're going to see how that starts to, I mean, it better save Main Street. If it doesn't, they're going to have a problem. Not Main Street, but the administration. And then, too, as we get into midterms, that's something Bank of America keeps talking about. You know, a lot of people are assuming coming into midterms, they're going to try to pump everything. Or, again, Donald Trump is going to make a big focus on their constituents. IBM Mizzle. CCJ now, I don't know. I haven't really looked at uranium. Again, there was some critical minerals news in the morning, but, you know, the stocks haven't been responding like they were a couple weeks ago. A couple months ago now at this point. XLK, GE, Abbott's going up, and now this SPY. This is getting led by tech. A little bit more broadening out right now, but let's see. So remember, 230, 270 was the number. That's going to be your, okay, you got one flipping green on the Dow. You got one more flip green on the NASI. And then SPY 240. So yeah, 17 names just went green on this. So like I'm saying, that's your opportunity to like get juice. If all the tech just holds up and doesn't die, and then literally maybe like another 50 of these names go green, that'll probably lift you 0.5%. ADM. It is kind of the rate cut revelation. It's gonna happen. I mean, it's very, I don't know, man. I was gonna make a video and put it on the trading fraternity, but then I didn't have a long-term buy recently. But I was gonna go on another rant because I'm kind of disappointed in Powell. Not only am I disappointed in Nikki Timmerhouse and just kind of how people are like framing the dynamic, but like, yeah, Powell is acting so odd because it's not like the thing about it is that like rate cuts, I don't think we need them. I just think there is a big gap between like how Main Street's getting affected and not, and like to some degree you could make a case that Jerome Powell is trying to mess things up. The longer you look at it and how behind they are in their reasoning, it's like he wanted Donald. I think Jerome Powell has TDS. I hate to break it to y'all. So yeah, it's sad. T-Com, VIX on the low again. We did that earlier. You had a little red and then took off. What is TDS? You've never heard of it? Really? That's amazing. It is Trump derangement syndrome. I don't think it's real. It might one day be medically classified. I'm surprised. It might. It really might. But yeah, I do think, I really think Powell has that. That's what I'm saying, which is weird because he shouldn't. But like, in a sense, I do, like, because a lot of this stuff makes it difficult to operate. And I think economically, and I think to kind of prove some points, or maybe he doesn't like Trump, I think Powell is willing to hurt stuff because that's what it is. Like at this, I think they should even, I don't know, they should lower interest on excess reserves and find a way to cut rates without necessarily benefiting Wall Street. But yeah, it is, his actions are now, he's kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. He is kind of proving that he is going to be late. That's the irony of all of it. Is there no more wire, or did I miss that, Philo? Bro, where have you been? You haven't been here in like 9 months, dude? The fuck? Dude, what's up, Ricky? How are you, man? I mean, see, what did this guy, he said, where's the wire? That was a long time ago. Well, yeah, that's why, like, I mean, you know, for years, you guys heard Homeboy talk about the labor market. And finally, when the labor market, with or without the data, I mean, you could see it. There's just so much, like, the inflation concern, for them to keep hammering that home and then, you know, willing to, like, add the slope. Like, again, they're already fucked up real estate. You know, it's affecting more normal Americans than not. And I've watched Powell do some dumb shit. You know, that's why it's like the way he's not willing to now is odd. And that's why I don't think they should go to zero, but I do think there's a little, that's why, but again, this all comes back to what's happening now. Most people are getting this, and most people are understanding, listen, they're just gonna take it down one more time, get it away from restrictive, because it's been a year, and if you look at like non-government data, the inflation's very, very low right now. And maybe it does come back, but for now, you don't need a really restrictive stance. It does suck that financial markets are bubbling, and they have already, and they've gotten ahead of it. But like, as far as like real world effect in Main Street, there's zero need for you to be this restrictive when clearly the jobs market is getting affected more than anything right now. That's why it's harder. Like, let me put it this way. you should know this based on your life, depending on where you're at, but this is something you guys have heard lately. Do you guys know it's harder to get a job right now out of college than it is from 2008? So after the Great Recession, it was impossible to find a job. You guys remember I told you that? That's why my first job was at Foot Locker. And this was around 08. And I remember that was a gift. If you had a job after 08, that was a gift. So now it's harder to get a job than 08. So you come out of college, you get your debt, you get whatever. You were going to have one of the most challenging times getting a job, depending on what you do. If you're an electrician, that's another story, but most people didn't go to college to become an electrician. Hey, yo, what? Is that real? Homeboy just sent me a 50% off on shoes. Dog, if this works, God bless. I just bought a damn pair, but yeah, that's amazing. Them shoes is hella expensive. I appreciate you. I don't know, man. Send me your channel. If you're banned, I'll unban you. That's a good gift. I'll return the favor. That's dope. I'll have to check it, though. I'll have to run that. I don't have the Foot Locker fit, dude. They made you return that. That's fucking the stripe stock. You gotta earn those. The On Clouds. I think that's the one I have. Goldman and Banks going up. Again, we're still at the high. $6,884. It's a good day, man. It's sad the SPY is still below that fucking history day. And now Equal did get to launch a little bit more, but it's still lagging heavy. They look the same on the day, but wait too, because watch, like I'm saying, anytime you get one of these reds, see who goes down and just see if that's an opportunity to broaden out. The low ticker is not really active at all. That's fake. Your son showed the same thing. Well, he says he works with corporate, so I'll check it. But then I have to go. It's from on.com. Or I'd have to go on the website. I'll do it later. It's it. I can't believe I even got those shoes to begin with. Quantum. Halloween, I had a cap and gown that sign that said unemployed. It's so sad and funny at the same time. It's true. It's literally, though, it's kind of a, I wouldn't call it an epidemic. It's just surprising. But that's what I'm saying. It's like there's certain parts of the economy where it's like, I don't think you're worried about inflation. Again, even though that has been what's hammered home for the last year, it has been a year. So we will see. We'll see what Powell does. But for the man who is so concerned with the employment market, it's so weird how quickly he has ignored it. Intel. Caterpillar, I put that one up, bro. They keep climbing. Biogen. Pfizer. Yeah, Russell is creeping up. You're right. That was kind of lagging there. It's up 1.3 now. Good call on that. I like it. So yeah, Russell is starting to pick up. Qualcomm, they were already up, but they didn't really move too much intraday. Yeah, I think, will Google see how the market does? Because if it does run out of gas, everyone's just gonna move it. They're gonna go to the other names. But then if they all run out of gas at the same time, then we'll probably chill. We'll probably chill at Euro close. I mean, we got 30 minutes, so we'll see. Well, I heard people talk about that. It's like skills, but I don't know. I've never really looked at it. But then this makes sense with, like, you know, labor market analysis, like supply and demand. Like, you got to think about it, the supply of workers, supply of jobs, all of that. But when it comes to college, I've never really heard of it like this, but they say that pretty much college is oversupplied. You just had an oversupply of kids going to college and getting an oversupply in kind of useless degrees. And again, that's all debatable. I mean, I necessarily didn't use my degree for whatever the fuck I do, but that was still a long time ago. But they're just saying it's an oversupply. So think about it. There is a supply of jobs that are available, but it's just there is an oversupply of people where college got crowded, essentially. It's as wild as that sounds. TGTX. All right, you are coming down. It's mostly Google. You got a couple of names that are coming down, and then a couple trying to work their way in. NVO just going up. No, NVIDIA hasn't been participating since earnings. That's it, on that one day, the day that the post earnings and then that historic flip, but it has lagged pretty heavily since. Win going up, I don't know if that's China play. And then again, Estee Lauder, they had some comments on that this morning. Well, a lot of generations were told college is money. I mean, I like college. I think it's a great time. You get to learn a lot. You get to network. But I mean, it does matter what you study. I think that's the kind of the issue. Moles reviving private credit fund merger. Weren't they the one that had they gated the funds the other day? Yeah, see if they move. Mox. What's this? McEwen. Yeah, the healthcare one's chilled out too. I think they called off the merger and then they gated some of the funds. John Ivey and Sam Altman say they have an AI hardware prototype. OpenAI's first piece of hardware could arrive in 2 years. I thought they had the little eyeball thing for WorldCoin. How is WorldCoin? Do any of you trade WorldCoin, or is that WorldCoin Sam Altman? Excuse me. Is it WLD? Is this it? I don't know if this is the right one. I remember when I'd look into it, there was a bunch. It's not even listed. I see one that says Coinbase. Yeah, WorldCoin. And then Broadcom, that was on fire today. STX, that was a dud. It's view only, you can't buy it. Is it at 60 cents? Is that the right one? Well, I remember when that came out. That was like 23, 24. But then, yeah, I don't know if it had the same reaction as anything else. Fucking WorldCoin. You need an eyeball. I thought that was his first hardware, though. Global banking regulations on a looser outlook for 2026. Again, Broadcom, UUU. High ticker is picking up again. So literally, that Bob is coming down and the bonds, but I really think that was give up a little bit of Google and then move it a little elsewhere. And you have a couple names still on the low, but now once again, a lot of energy. Energy, drone plays, like Russell, small cap, mid caps, those are all gassing right now. At least that's on the high ticker. Dollar. Figure on that new IPO. Constellation. Again, a lot of energy is moving up right now. Energy, uranium. Yeah, UUUU with the stick. There was something, it was like EIX today. They did like a $100 billion loan or something. Something like that. Yeah, Spotify a little bit off the bottom. That one's a laggard too on the day. Spotify. Spotify. Estee Lauder again. China Link plays. Baba chilled out. Baidu's holding up, but then like the American China plays like Win and EL are going up. APLD. NIFTA. Ain't no love in the heart of the NIFTA. Ain't no love in the heart of NASDAQ. Okay, high ticker is like fully gassed almost. 2, still above 2. You hit that like 10, 20 minutes ago. SPY 1.2, Dow 0.5, so that caught up a little bit. It's really the same setup. You're just going like 5, 10 new names are picking up green at a time. Yeah, so look, EcoWeight is breaking out. This is good. Because then it's even getting higher than that Friday. So if EcoWeight could break out here, I think you're going to catch up a little bit harder. And that's the exact broadening out you want to see. Pfizer, Spot, Marvell. Yeah, Spotify is looking decent there, but it stopped. Oh, man. What's another good value? If you could get a good staple right now, but I think it's all going to be healthcare. Healthcare or biotechs. Mexico climbing up here too. And oil. And a new high on the S&P. All right, so literally you've seen if the equal weight could hold up and it doesn't hit a wall, just find one of the equal weight runners and you'll be fine if you want something intraday, or you just keep riding what you got. Oh, is it Bitcoin? Bitcoin's already up 2 though. But yeah, Bitcoin is taking a stick to the high. Amazon to invest $50 billion to expand AI and supercomputing for U.S. government agencies. Nike about to go green. That might be a good one. Yeah, low key. I think that's it. Let's see if there's any options. Ain't no love in the heart of town. kind of like I like that though. That'll catch up if it keeps going like this. So if we get the equal weight melt up, you could get better quality though. That's the only problem. So instead of that, you could like, again, I would like a PG, but still. Ain't no love in the heart of town. Wow. A threat actor is selling a dump of 140,000 Trezor emails from MailChimp. Yeah, so again, find a equal weight value runner or lagger, and that'll be last call. There's still a little risk though. Give it pretty much after Euro close, or like 30 minutes after Euro close. If we do not dump and you hold this up, then it's gonna be fine. I like Procter & Gamble, but they sold off a decent. Remember, they were really running the last couple days, and these like Walmart PG were like the safety ones last week, so they're not really getting it. Now you might have to wait a little bit. But then TJX, that one might come up. TTGHPQ. I'd have to see HPQ. TTD I like, but I just, again, it's one of those names you don't really use. HP, just because of all the computer AI stuff. Are they still down though? Yeah, they are actually. They usually, again, back in the day, HP wouldn't really move like that. But again, AI computers and all this stuff going on has been catching a lot of attention. I think out of that whole list, Dexcom is the one I like. I don't have diabetes, but it's a San Diego company, and I know about it a lot. So I like them. I think they're actually a pretty groundbreaking company. Intel at 36. I like Procter & Gamble if it goes to... Even right now, it sucks that it's kind of back up. Intel is running, and this SPY. Intel's already up 4. Procter & Gamble, I think I wanted like another $5. But then again, it just came back down the other. Remember, it was just at 150 and then sold. So this isn't the worst price. Can Procter & Gamble go lower? It can. That's why I think 130, another 10, $12. But then if you need, like I've been saying, if you have a lot of cash, you don't need to wait for the perfect price. We already did that a couple of times. But then again, that's also why I don't have cash. Because I did go for them. But it is, I really like, that's probably one of my favorite ones that we haven't gotten. But then it's still up. That's the only problem. Fox and P-Sky, is there something with the WBD bid? No love in the heart of town. Wow. Amgen's a good company too. The thing about these medical companies is like some of them, like you just got to know about them. Like I know again Amgen's products, but I don't know if Amgen's even red on the year. Yeah, so it's up on the year by 30%. That's not. You guys could grab them if you want, but somebody asked me today even on Netflix. I'm just not a fan. If it's up, like I'm telling you guys, it's just not. You need to really wrap your heads around this right now. I've been saying this now for almost a month, but do you realize the last time was like, what, 1999? But like, you don't have, like, you have so many names that are underperforming the SPY right now. The SPY's up 20%, they're not up 20%. And then you have hundreds of names that are red. It's not going to be like this forever. Do you guys understand that? That's why I keep saying this and reminding you, because I want you to be able to think like this in the moment so that you could use it to your advantage. But yeah, this whole like names are down, you're not going to see it like this, especially the amount of quality. So if you want to grab the expensive names right now, I mean, be my guest, you know, they'll work. Some of them will. You know, you could always top tick something and there's a reason why it's going up. It's because it's probably doing good. But I would even argue there's names that are doing good and they're just not getting rewarded the same, considering everything going on. But you have a very, very large amount of names that are underperforming the S&P and even down on the year. And I would say 75% of them are still going to be here in 10 years. So that's your opportunity. But I can't make you do it. Trump admin expected to advance marijuana rescheduling through executive action in the near future. Or? What's the source on that? Check weed. It's going to pop though. It hasn't moved yet. Oh no, it's up. It's at 340. Did they halt it? It says 340. It's just not loading. I don't know. I don't know if they halted it or not. My option chain's not loading. Yeah, they halted it, bro. The weed stocks are halted right now on that. Yeah, I don't know what MH is. That's why I said the source is a little weird, but they halted it almost instantly. I mean, damn, Tilray's moving. That's up 7 to give you an idea of how it'll probably play out. MSOX is still going? I forgot there's 2 of them. You could go for any of the feedback ones. Again, it's going to eventually fade, but for now, you know what I'm saying? AVAV, Tesla, Nvidia, Win. All right, you're gassing again. Couple new names on the low, and now you have rescheduling. You have rescheduling drama or rescheduling rumor with the weed stocks. So we'll see if it gets denied, they'll get clapped, but usually they get a little bit. No, the weed plays ever since the election. If you remember, I mean, that's been a year ago now. Hey, Nvidia is moving now. Hold on, that's your little runner. Yeah, so Nvidia's waking up right now. Oh, Men's Health is the source? That's the oddest source I've ever seen on that. Yeah, yo, it's NVIDIA right now. That's what's waking you up. So SPY's starting to go. A lot of names carried along. But yeah, now that's finally going. Ain't no love in the heart of town. Wow. IMTX. Medical health, men's health. So what are the other again, that's all in the video there. So finally that little pullback again, we were saying Google is chilling out a little bit. It lagged a little, but that did go to Nvidia now, so that just gave you a nice little tick up because finally that thing's fucking moving. And Intel 66.99 on the SPY. That's amazing. It's a little faster than expected. And then Ecoid's still kind of lagging though. So that was just the Nvidia pop that gave you a little bit more. Oh no, we got a long way to go. Oh, you fill the gap at 68.50. It's a lot amount. Yeah, and then there's Nivda. Weed is still halted. Ain't no love in the heart of town. Wow. Tesla, BC, Elf. Remember, didn't they get beaten down? And then that's like, again, pseudo-China, American China plays. The American companies with exposure, those are the ones doing great. Yeah, and then see what happens with the weed stocks whenever that gets unhalted. MJ, I think that's another ETF. Erdogan says he please don't plan Hyundai Turkey investment. Okay, there's weed stocks unhalted now. It's up 10, 11. Again, there's a couple of little secondary plays you could have made on it. But now, oh shit. The thing, be careful though, is eventually going to sell. But just keep it small if you did take them. But yeah, it'll do those candles like that. Solventum, alright. I need to use the restroom. Follow me on Instagram at Trident Fraternity. God bless America and good morning.
The top end of their 4 to 6% growth. I think they're going to do roughly about 7 to 8% growth for this year. So if we think about the AI story itself, tripling from 1 billion to 3 billion, that's going to be the incremental growth that gets you above to the top end of their revenue growth guidance. The way I have networking flashed out right now, the networking business, ex-AI is growing roughly around 4%, and that's probably towards the low end. And quite frankly, if the upgrades come in stronger than a lot better than we think, there's a little bit of upside. Now, there is a little bit of drag. The security business hasn't panned out as strongly as they hoped, primarily because it is going through this business model transition. But, it would have been a story at another time. But the two stories, AI as well as the core networking upgrade cycle, I mean, that's doing very, very well in 26. And if anything, I would argue it would probably be better in 2027.
Is Cisco part of this whole circular deal-making, circular funding concern that has investors worried that if one company in this link stops spending or maybe slows down spending, everyone else will get affected? To some degree, yes, Scarlett. And that's why I think if you look at some of the AI stories there, it's one of the safe bets, right? They are exposed to some of the, I would say, the hyperscale names, but a very small exposure to it, as well as some of the neo clouds. They do sell some routing products and some of the sovereigns. Now, if that business disappears, the cash flow story is still well intact, right? If I calculate the amount of AI revenue relative to their total revenue base, we're only talking about 6 to 7% of total sales, right? So if the AI story collapses, I mean, AI evaporates, they're still in very good standing. Not to mention the fact that they pay out a dividend too. I mean, it's not a huge one, but a tech company with a 2% dividend yield is something.
And they've been steadily
when
the stock was lower.
Yeah.
When the stock was lower, it used to be 3. So yeah.
There you go.
I mean, what's not to like? Stock buybacks and a dividend yield and an AI story if it works out.
All right, Woojin, thank you so much. Woojin Ho is our senior technology analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence, giving us his take on Cisco and how it's certainly benefiting from the AI story. He's looking at the cash flow as something that supports its membership in this elite club of companies.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, if you can get the AI tailwind, even some of these what we kind of call maybe first generation technology companies are certainly getting the benefit.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that. The market's moving higher. S&P up 1.4%. The NASDAQ up 2.3%. The Russell up 1.4%. This is Bloomberg. Good morning.
Good memories. 4 p.m. President signs executive order. So that's either going to be about the healthcare or the new one. And then PG dumping. AI lookbacks tokenized. Oh no. Yeah, Robinhood responded to me. I don't know if it was an AI one, but we'll see. Maybe the liquidity crisis is real. No. All right, yeah, the wheat stocks took a nice run, but not anything too crazy yet. I mean, it sucks that some people are going to probably say that executive order is tied to that, but I doubt it. But it's going to be tied to the healthcare and the Obama stuff. I mean, that's what got us there. And then this second half here leading into Euro close, that was just Nvidia moving. Yeah, we had the covert stuff on Venezuela earlier. But not bad, man. Again, you're waking up there. You woke up the ones that OpenAI related laggers. So those are looking very good. And then again, you just got a rumor on wheat stocks, Iren, Marvell, a couple of the mid-tier ones that held up. Again, CoreWeave. Oh yeah, watch CNC is going to react to that. CNC, Molina, and Oscar. Let me see. Well, dude, people don't know what lookbacks are. I had I had some guy flaming me. He's like, "You fucking idiot. This guy just wants back testing." I'm like, Lord. I know, it's tough. It's tough out here, dog. It's tough. It's tough. Interdigital awarded injunction against Disney. So yeah, Nvidia again. So what's going down now? Because look, Nvidia's coming up, but it's either Microsoft or Google. No, what is it? Apple? No, Apple isn't doing good. So yeah, this sucks though in the sense that that's not going to be broadening out. Yeah, look, equal wage dropping though. Well, Nvidia starts to take off. Tesla is up 7. They've been going up all day. Sam Delzel, Intizol, TSM, that's been going up all day too. And Broadcom. The staples? No, consumer staples. Not like the easy button. No. Consumer staples are staples that consumers pretty much rely on. Like toothpaste is a consumer staple. Everybody needs it unless you have a good dentist. AEHL. That was running all day today already. That just took another 10% off the high. The 50. I forgot you fell below that. Remember last week people were panicking kind of on the shitty reaction from yesterday. Or last week in general. Why are these so expensive? Broadcom again, now Unity. Path? Where is Path? It sucks, man, because I like Path, but remember I was telling you I use them a lot, but I don't know, Gemini might eliminate Path in an odd way. Because, dude, I did not think, because that was the kind of some of the limitations with some of the AIs is like the cursor and being able to do stuff, but like legit, I think you could code Path in Gemini now, if that makes sense. I think I could build I could build a Path clone pretty much with how powerful Gemini 3 is. Oh, the executive order could be the Nvidia thing. I'm gonna go with healthcare, but I think that's a good possibility as well too. I like how you're thinking. I don't think we don't know, but that's why I'm saying just understand the possibilities. So if it is the Nvidia one, that's even more bullish. And then Nvidia did start running up there. But right now, the rumor that we got over the weekend was healthcare. So I'd be down to juggle both of those ideas, though. I like it. But yeah, it's because I like Path a lot, man. That was just, I like the AI, I like the hype, all that. And then the fact that, it's something that I used, but to Gemini blew a lot of things out of the water. Nuke, again, uranium plays, they've been kind of going up. Take notice, though, the low ticker is picking up. It's just, it's those equal weights. So we're getting into Euro close. A couple things might chill out, but for now, a little bit of broadening out. It could be a lot worse. So it just Google and some of those other tech names really came up a lot. But this is all just tech. And then 66.99. So see, if we get above it, 67, it'll be nice. You'll probably go another 20 points higher. Otherwise, it'll chill. And then you'll have to dance around, maybe do a VWAP test. But like I was telling you, if you could get through the first 2.5 hours here without any of this like upside fading, I think that's going to be it. They halted it just because it moved a lot. They do that, though, with MSOS. If it pops on some of those, they'll halt it for a sec. The healthcare rumor? Did you just wake up? The healthcare rumor is that they were saying this morning that everybody knew this in the morning. We even went over it. Even if you weren't on the locked in, we talked about it a couple times. But they were saying that there might be a 2-year extension on Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare, and then Trump might launch one of his own little plans there. But that's good because it'll prevent another shutdown in January, and it will also help out managed care HMO providers. They're going to be able to, get a little bit more clarity or guarantee on their money. So yeah, if he signs that, that's why I go look at CNC, Molina, Oscar Health, I believe, is the big winner. Those are all up a ton today, and it's all off of that news. Yeah, Oscar's still up 20, CNC's up 10, 8. So, or it's going to be, I like it, Chad and Mr. Blue in the locked in, he said it could also be the NVIDIA thing, and I agree with that. I think that's less likely, but we just don't know. I'd be down to juggle it, like I said. I just think it's going to be something. If it's whack, that'll be disappointing. But yeah, keep your eyes out. That'll be at the bell, so whatever play you want to make relating to that, you might be able to make it towards the end of the day. So, or you could go now if you still think it's going to melt up, but that should carry over into tomorrow. Because it's going to be at the bell, then we'll wake up and then do all that. AM Digital. Okay, and Datadog. So low ticker's kind of slowing down there. Alcoa, it's trying to broaden out, man. So yeah, Ecoweight's getting a bid, but now that you got tech holding you up, NVIDIA's going a long way on that. See, right when that executive order thing came out, though, they started gassing. Oh shit, no one's even trading these? It's kind of crazy. All right, there's a lagger. I'll give it to you. I don't think it's worth that price, but yeah, that one, all of those plays are killed. So yeah, in a weird way, all of those contracts are kind of laggarooning. But just wait till it's red. The AI Studio? No, I haven't yet. I played around with it a little bit, surprisingly. I didn't do as much, but because I'm waiting for it. It sucks. I ordered a Blackwell, but it won't get here till like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I might cancel it because I found a store. There's like a Micro Center in Tustin, so I'm like, fuck it, I might just go and pick it up. But I don't want to make a fucking 2-hour drive. Well, yeah, it's fascinating, you know. Down. And then I guess. And then the flies, yeah. Such a fun store. I've made apps dude, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy you could even make apps now. That was like the barrier with your boy ChatGPT, but it looks like Gemini figured it out. Very nice. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna get at least one of these. I think it sucks because I don't want to build my own and like take that time, but I think I'm gonna get like the DGX Spark. Well, I ordered the Dell one, but it's gonna take 3 weeks, so that's why I'm like, fuck it, I might as well just cancel it and go pick one up. But I have a lot to do. I have a lot to do on the farm. I gotta get some fucking erosion control. It rained and dude, the road on the farm got fucked up. What will I use the Blackwell for? It's a baby one. It's not a big one. I might have to get the big one day, but I'm gonna wait till it gets cheaper. But I'm working on something. I've been telling you guys for a while. I haven't really shared what it is. It sucks though, because the more powerful this thing becomes, and I'm excited to play with it. I don't know if I'm gonna release it, but you know, if God wills it, I will have a really cool thing for you guys. But at the very least, kind of like the Newswire, I will let you guys benefit off of the fruit of it, and but I don't think I'll release it because I have good data. I mean, that's just the thing, and I've been getting a lot of data for the last half a decade, and that's where the money's at. I mean, if you have a good set of data, it goes a very, very long way. You know, that's why that's why Google is so fucking crazy right now, because you got to realize Google has a data trove. Now they got this fucking Gemini working, and hardware, if you think about it. Hardware, software, and data. It's next level, man. You made a stock analyzer with Python and Replit. I was shocked how easy it is. I love it. Look it. Bro, what, 3 weeks ago I was just telling y'all this, and y'all were like, what? And now you guys are fucking making apps. And shit, I'm telling you, I'm very proud. Keep going, you guys. That's exactly what I was trying to tell y'all. It's just like, dude, then some of y'all, hey, put me on the board if you fuck around and make a $1 billion company, okay? Because then, like I was telling y'all, I was like, bros, don't waste your money. Don't waste your time on fucking gambling and fatalism. I'm telling you, you could get anybody. Anybody right now, this is how you're gonna fucking 30,000%, 100,000%. You're gonna fuck around and make something. And this is the era to do it early, and you're not late. And it's just like the skill gap. There's no skill gap. You could catch up real quick, and then if you mix in the right people and the smart stuff down the line, you'll be good. But if you got ideas, you play around, I mean, you guys are gonna, at bare minimum, you'll be versed in it. You know what I'm saying? As the world develops more towards it, you're not gonna not understand it, because some of you guys are now using it. So like I'm telling you, bro, I would keep going. I had a damn philo. You know what I'm saying? I've been having a damn philo on it, and y'all, I'm very glad you listened. I hope a lot of you do. This is for everybody. This is what I'm saying. I mean, the goal here, I want you guys to invest. I want you guys to all be really rich, and that's the real results and being successful. And I hope you keep your character beyond. Remember, it's not just money. And that's what I'm saying. We could build some cool shit, and I would love to see it. And I believe. That's what I said. I got the vision, man, and I see a lot of y'all doing some crazy shit. So, but I can't make it. You got to take initiative. So those of you who did, bro, and just started playing with it. So I'm telling you, bro, just talk. Don't talk emotionally. Don't share your emotions with an AI. It's your servant. And if you guys use it the right way, and you don't need to follow anybody, you don't need to do anything, you just got to do it. Yeah, that's the problem. The Spark, if I go to pick up the computer, it's going to cost me 10% more. But if I wait 2-3 weeks, I could get it for cheap. I already ordered it. I have one order. SSP. This was unhalted. It got halted earlier. So yeah. But if I want to get it right away, I could just pay more and then cancel it. But yeah, I have one coming. Chip, it just depends what kind of chip. But now with the whole fucking TPU thing, it's gonna be a game changer. But yeah, like some prices have, but like realistically though, all those damn like the DGX and all these like the mini supercomputers, they're very terribly marketed, and there's a lot in stock. And then there's a huge bandwidth limitation. That's the thing. Like, so there is going to be limits to it, but for like early development, it's a good tool, but you know, it's not, you are going to get limited on there. Yeah, you do got to get a PC. I don't know, once we get Tim out here, I want to see what we could do with some of my old shit, because like even if you have old computers, that's where it's like if you can start to repurpose your graphics cards and shit, like you could still create something nice and like at least have enough. But again, like I told you guys last week, you don't need to spend money. I would just start playing around like some of you have, and good job, and you're gonna find out if you need something and what you're limited with. But yeah, it's I definitely think a desktop though would probably be your best bet. But then again, these like little desktops, they're tiny nowadays. That's like the one I ordered is like, it's like a foot. It's tiny as fuck. But yeah, it's a lot of power. Yeah, it's like the throwing away computers. You made millions off scraps. You can. That's what I'm saying. There's good, like most of you have, like if you have a good gaming card or something like that, you can you could do something. And like it may not be the best right now, but with the right repurposing and shit, man, I don't know, ask Google. Google just in a weird way, they kind of did it, but a lot more advanced. But yeah, you could kind of create something nice. Gemini or GPT? Gemini for sure. I wouldn't have said that. Again, a couple days ago is when we all discovered it, or after that release, but it's been phenomenal. And that's why I think some of you played with it this weekend, and I think some of you, because I got to do a lot of vibe coding with ChatGPT, but yeah, Gemini's way better at it. That's why some of you were able to walk away already on your first experience with just some cool shit. Linux on the old Threadripper. Yeah, I know that computer's just got to get it up. I got to clean that thing out. I didn't check the water cooling thing yet. Yeah, the Macs, they're a little bit more expensive, but if you got one of those like M4 Mac computers, those are very powerful. I was actually shocked. Like we talked about it on Friday, those M4s are really, really powerful. No, you want it's like the little, like you remember the Mac Mini? It's like a computer box. Yeah, it's extremely powerful. I was shocked when I saw it. It costs like $2,000 more than so 50% more than one of the Dell or DGX Sparks. What are you making with it? Whatever you want. That's what I was telling everybody. I mean, I'm not going to share what I'm doing with it, but everybody kind of, you have your old project or your own project. What a lot of people have said recently is like, this is what I've seen from the chads, and this is exactly why I was excited about it. Because some of you did it. You guys, I probably had like 5 or 6 chads be like, yo, I was thinking of this app idea my whole life. And then they finally made it. So just stuff like that. If you have anything you've ever wanted to do, but you didn't really have the technical experience, try it. Just talk to the computer, the damn AI, and give it tell it your idea and say, give me the code, or how do I do it? Write the code for this, and it'll do it. That's the crazy part. And then before you know it, you'll go down a rabbit hole, putting things together. You'll probably end up downloading Python. And even then, I think with Gemini, bro, you don't even need the Python as much. That's the crazy part. It's just getting crazier and crazier. But if you could put it into words, you could create it. And that, my friend, is the development. Path? Speak of the devil. Well, they're running up. I wouldn't say coding is a dying skill, just the barrier to entry was dramatically lowered with all these developments. But if you know how to code and like you have skill, you're going to be able to put things together a lot more efficiently and easier. But it's just like now it's not like a deal breaker. So it's like if you don't really know how to code, it's not like that's going to stop you. That's the crazy part. That's why I told you guys this about a year ago. When I first started. Remember when I first, AMD and Microsoft and the SPY, see if we get a rumor on any of the chip or China stuff again. But you remember I was saying that because I said everybody in like the kind of the right above millennial generation who didn't know how to code, and they would have seemed like they were never, they were in that weird gap where they missed the whole learn to code. And I was saying this a year ago. I was like, you guys could all catch up. I said, this is your moment now to be able to catch up. And if you thought you would never be able to code or you didn't have that technical ability, you do now. And yeah, it's becoming easier and easier. But if you know a lot of like deep knowledge on computers, coding and all that, it still serves I think a very good purpose with a lot of value. You'll be a lot more efficient, and you'll be able to connect things a lot easier. All right, bro, something just hit again. I don't know, Microsoft, AMD, and Intel, NVIDIA. But again, as long as NVIDIA goes up, I haven't looked at Google. If Google goes up, even better, but it looks like they gave up a little bit. And then all the money's still kind of going elsewhere. But you're broadening out with tech, not necessarily broadening out with the S&P. Because again, S&P is being led by Google and tech right there. So it's like the NVIDIA AI-linked ones that are doing it. Yes, English is the new coding language, 100%. Yeah. So we're a couple weeks into this. I was telling you, most people don't understand, like, the crazy part about AI is natural language. That's what it means. It's the ability to create and do stuff using natural language now. Now if you have it, it helps, but you don't like the UI, the back end, all these different things that you would normally have to do and have to speak another language, code, and put it together. Now, if you could say it in words, you can create something. And now it's magic, bro. It's insanity. But yeah, that's the development. So stay tuned. I mean, we've been going over all of this, so I hope you guys have been paying attention if you have spent your time here. This shouldn't sound, all of this is a repeat. Oklo, and then the chip index going up. It's getting led by NVIDIA. Okay, now Lulu. Watch if any of these other ones, the China American ones, start to go up. K-Web and Baba chilled out with Google, but then now all the ones that were kind of lagging in the morning, except Broadcom, they're giving it up. Or not Broadcom, Oracle. But then Broadcom's still holding. It might be, I don't think it's the G comments. That was in the morning, but it's either the executive order today is about chips or it's about healthcare. I think healthcare, but ever since we started kind of hearing that, NVIDIA started waking up. And NVIDIA was the lagger, that's why. So this is actually pretty good. Qubits on the low. Pretty sure he said it was about healthcare. That's what I'm assuming, but anything is possible. But yeah, I lean heavy to that. Alright, CNC chilled out. It's weird though, all the healthcare names chilled out. And it was like 10-20 minutes on that though. Time 8-4, 15 minutes off Euro. So again, even Euro you held. Like I said, give another 30 minutes. If we don't dump or even towards the end of the day, it's all looking good. Because last time you stabilized like this, it just did not last long. So if we could get out of that with the sentiment, now the Google, and now even NVIDIA getting to play along a little bit. Those NVIDIAs did lag. Those went up. All small. The out of the money ones are going to move slower, so I still think you're playing that game until we break a high. Joby. Wait for... Alright. Here, give me a sec. I got a message.
To have that capability, and we're kind of used to seeing it with the big guys like Walmart and Target, but I think for the smaller retailers that also becomes very important to maintain that connection with the customer directly.
Do Walmart and Amazon have a way on capitalizing on Gen Z's preference for experiences over things, physical goods?
I think that is a little bit more challenging for that kind of demographic in particular, but
that's funny. My dad sent me a message. I was like, why is he sending me a message this early? He sent me like a video, and I go and look at it, and it's two turkeys going through the street. I laughed. I thought he was in trouble or something. He never texted me this early. It was two turkeys gobbling away in the middle of the road. I told him to catch them. GE Aerospace project will create 40 jobs at job site. You're meltarooneying, Chattadunia. So yeah, it's all looking good for now. Look at the high ticker. It's still kind of broadening out. A couple of those China plays. Again, take a look at the equal weight. Let's get a checkup too. So yeah, equal weight starting to climb with that. The second set that lagged in the morning, like Nivda, they started going up. it's Google's losing steam, but then at least it's going into Nvidia, it looks like. But we'll see. Gleba? No idea what that is. That's why I clicked on it. Well, good morning. Good morning. It sucks though if it all just dumps down. It'll be a bad morning. So this is different than the last couple days. AMD near 6. The other ones are good too. I'm ready to go. Hey. Oh, and then did you guys see it? Your boy, Michael Burry, he's launching his newsletter. He's making a Substack. I told you he's gonna make a blog. That's it, bro. He's gonna become an influencer. I love it. Maybe one day we'll get him on. But I don't think he understands me. I gotta talk to him like this. Michael, Michael, Babbitt. Microsoft. You gotta put on Ethereum? Do I think it'll go there? No, but I think I'm gonna ban you. You're not allowed to post plays in here. So most people are aware of that by now. Hence why the chat is so slow, which I like. So yeah, but long term we could talk about that. But I mean, you're gonna have to try again. So yeah, no plays, please. Especially strike price, all that. I view it as influencing. Unfortunately, if the stock gambling culture didn't go that hard to the other way, maybe we would still have it. But for now, I encourage you to take other ideas, get a long term, and you could always talk to me about long term. And we've had some good discussions on that, actually. I think today, and then slick charts, any chart, just find your value. I beg you. They're kind of chilling. Microsoft's now going up too. They kind of lagged. And Apple, CLF, the mineral material plays have kind of been edging up. Some of them are getting a little crazy now. I think P-Sky, another one, there's something on the bid. And then, yeah, Procter & Gamble got destroyed. I we got rid of those on Friday. Still. These are guys, man. It's Palantir's still into the high. Tesla, Shopify. So there's a decent amount of names. So see here, if Google will stop the lack of broadening, or Google will stop the SPY, but then watch the equal weight. But that's not moving the same either. Here's going back and forth though. Can we talk about Circle? Sure. What do you want to talk about? I don't really think of them that much, you know. I don't know if I think you might have asked me before, but some people ask me about it, but I'm not yeah, I think stable coins are going to be used within companies a lot. That's kind of been the development, but I'm not too interested in that name. RKLB, space stocks now. Oh, let's see. I think last time I had 240. Now you have 268. Uh-huh. Now 233. So another 20 names went green on the SPY. NASDAQ, another 2 went green. And then the Dow, 18 green. So that was like 4 names in the last like 30 minutes. So again, little by little, you're broadening out. Oh, Chad. Can we do push-ups? I would like to do push-ups. NVIDIA's still going. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Chad, chest to the sun. Flex the core. I've been doing a lot of chest to the sun. You know that? Because, like, my chest was, like, getting tight. And then it would, like, make my neck tight. And then, like, if you stand there, like, actually point your chest to the sun, bro, it kind of eases up the neck. I liked it. So yeah, man, move around a little bit. I gotta move. Shopify immediately investigated issue, fired salespeople, misrepresented scope of products that they sold. MDT. But yeah, man, move around. It's 20 minutes past zero close, but I'd encourage you to get the body moving, brethren. You know, we have a long week ahead. It's Thanksgiving. You're going to eat some turkey.
Supermarkets and grocery stores in Norway now offer charging, and they're seeing a lot of like business model synergies there. So if you think about a grocery shopping trip, that's 30 to 45 minutes, and that's like a meaningful amount of time for a top-up on an electric vehicle. So they're starting to compete with some of the pure players in the space.
So what's the technology today on charging? Where are we in terms of a fast charger? How long does it take to charge it, I guess, a typical electric vehicle?
Did you guys know that
So
was
if
a
we're
real
using
dog?
an 100 kilowatt charger, it could take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Some of the faster chargers, like 350 kilowatts, that can shorten it to 20 minutes or less.
And so where are we? So the rest of the world, are they? I mean, Norway's an outlier on the upside. Where's the rest of the world, just generally speaking? Where's Europe? Where's Asia, broadly defined? Where are those parts of the world? What are they doing?
So we're seeing in Europe, there's a lot of policy momentum sort of on electrifying passenger vehicle charging, as well as like heavy duty vehicle charging through their alternative fuel infrastructure facility funds. And so they're investing billions of dollars into charging there. And across the EU, we're seeing around 20% EV adoption. And that's going to also range a lot depending on like which country you're talking about.
Right. Where are we in the U.S. today? What's the current environment for the U.S. and charging stations? Because that, for a lot of folks, that's probably a gating issue for adoption of EVs, is that anxiety. Well, where are we in the U.S.?
Definitely. So the U.S. right now, like I mentioned earlier, is at around 10% of new car sales being electric, but that is also very variable depending on the state. In California, almost like a quarter of the vehicles are electric, and then along the West Coast, you're also seeing like 20%, versus some other markets, it's lower than 10%.
And the charging, what's the charging network like here, and what's the plan for the charging network in this country, and how much do we need the government to support that?
So we're seeing a lot of government support right now via the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Fund, or NEVI, on the federal level, and then we're seeing some state level programs as well. We're just, there's a bit of an issue in terms of the deployment of the funds. It's being administered through state governments, which might not have the technical know-how and the expertise to kind of oversee that procurement process. And so that's sort of delaying it. We only have like 100 to 200 like NEVI funded chargers that are out right now.
So what's the, I'm sure you had to take down your U.S. forecast for charging infrastructure in the U.S. What's kind of the next 4 to 5 years look like here?
We had to revise it downward quite a bit. Now I think the EV penetration rate in 2030 is around 30% of new car sales. And so yeah, that was revised quite a bit lower after the President Trump.
So the charging stations, the charging technologies, how much of that is being done by private enterprise versus government supported versus, I don't know, government,
a great question.
Public, I'm not sure how that's getting done.
So in the U.S. right now, it's mostly being led by the private side. In Norway, we're seeing actually a lot of public-private coordination that's really driving it. So Oslo, for example, has a municipal charging app that coordinates payments and access to chargers across several like private operators. And then in places like China, for example, we're really seeing a lot of like state-mandated deployment of chargers via like state-owned utilities.
All right, interesting story. It's a lot of politics in the story, at least in this country. But again, the rest of the world's moving forward. Ash Wang, thank you so much for joining us. Ash Wang, she's the EV charging analyst for Bloomberg NEF. Those are the folks that collect all the data, analyze all the data on a global scale for this transition to greener, cleaner energy, I guess is the way to generically term it. It's across all industries, so we keep an eye on that. For our listeners in the U.S., a reminder, you can listen to us via satellite radio on Sirius XM Channel 121. Access the world's only global audio business network, coast to coast, 24 hours a day. Stay with us. Your top stories and global business headlines are coming up in just some moments. The markets are a-ripping, as they say. The S&P is up 1.3%. The NASDAQ's up 2.
was far
All
away.
caps are coming back.
Stretching. I hope you're stretching.
1.5%, and Treasuries are rallying.
Oh, I was saying though, it's like,
lower.
watch here. That's our
There's
first
very little
kind of
Fed
like
speak on
pullback.
the agenda now
So
into
see
the
if it
next
turns
meeting,
into
which
a
is
real one or not.
December
But if
9th
it
and
doesn't,
10th,
I mean,
and
you're
there's also
looking
not much
very
in the
good
way of
today
blockbuster
in
data
terms of
that's
stabilization.
Really updated. Yes, we'll get September retail sales. We'll get September PPI. They're all very
Cigarette stocks
backward-looking
on
at
the
this
low.
point.
Yeah. By the way, I think that 405 10-year is the lowest going back to the October Fed meeting, and we're still trying to get back to the 50-day S&P. Busy week still ahead, even though it's short. Let's get to the judge.
Carl, thank you very much. Welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm Scott Wapner. Front and center this hour, the tech rebound following the sector's worst week in more than 7 months. We'll debate the road ahead for that group and, of course, the markets at large with the investment committee. Joining me for the hour today, right here at Post 9, Josh Brown, Joe Terranova, and Steve Weiss. Take a look at the markets. We are sharply higher. It is the NASDAQ that is a ripper today, up 2 1/3%. We're good for 500 points. Coming off the worst week, as we said, for that group since April. Bitcoin had a rough week. Risk came out of the market, as you know. I think the big question we all want to know, where does this leave us now? Thanksgiving approaches. Not that much time left to go in the year. I go back to what Tony Pasquarello of Goldman Sachs said last Friday pre-open. He surveyed the landscape. He looked at the volatility and said it had some elements of capitulation, but he hasn't changed his overall bullish view. Quote, it's a bull market and the primary trend remains intact, the primary uptrend. Quote, I'm a believer that liquidity is set to improve. The economy should accelerate. The story may not be as pristine as it was, but that interplay is still pretty favorable. Does that match with how you think, Josh, about where we are?
I think it's a good take. I think the number one thing that you had to get right this year was that you could have rotation within the Mag 7 and that would be enough from an index level to continue to propel us higher.
See, they're gonna
and
pump
then the
the
number
play
two
probably.
thing that you had to get right was that momentum would remain the most powerful of all the factors. And just look year to date, momentum statistically is number one, up 21% on the year. Growth is up 17, quality up 9.6, value up 9.5, shareholder yield up 9.5. If you had an overweight toward multiple of those factors or any one in particular, you've had a great year. Hasn't been necessarily in a straight line, but overall, that's what kept you on
remember
the right
we
side
flipped
of the market.
Ascend at like the 60s and 80s?
Low-vol is
I
the
didn't know that
worst
thing went
performer
to 200.
of that group. Shareholder yield is the worst performer of that group. So, like, you do have a lot of dispersion.
And then again, those cigarette stocks started dumping.
Within that Mag 7 rotation, the most interesting thing to say is it's been very difficult to not be in that trade, even if at any given time, one or two of those names have been giving you trouble. There was a moment this year, Judge, where Tesla was just like a complete disaster. Apple had a moment where everyone was giving up on it. Amazon has had some really bad post-earnings reactions. Obviously, the saga with Alphabet has just been incredible, which I know we'll get to in a second. But giving up on any one of those names and then utilizing it as a reason to get out of the Mag 7 has been disastrous for people, because that rotation from one to the next, it's been really powerful, and it's kept this market moving up.
Weiss, we shook some things out undeniably last week, okay?
Yep.
But back to what Pasquarello's saying. Do you agree? Are we still intact? And even though we're not as pristine as we once were, that I'm using words that he used in his note, we're still pretty favorable. And if you look at the overall, you've got obviously the CapEx spend, you have a pretty good economy, which is going to, many think accelerate into next year, and you got the Fed, which is going to be more engaged, obviously, on the cutting cycle. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think we are intact. I can't tell what the market's going to do depending upon what the Fed does. That's a short-term consideration. Overall, we do see the economy strengthening in some parts. Let's keep in mind we still can see the consumer weakening.
Yeah.
So it's a two-part economy. Now, you've got the largest spending that continues to be intact and driving the economy. So I think we're good, and I also think, and this is a term I really dislike, I think it's healthy to shake out the latecomers to the AI trade, to the tech trade. And so you can move up in a more reasonable fashion. We did get overvalued, unquestionably, but we're in good shape now. So I'd keep going, with the with the mid-cap tech. I think the AI trade is far from dead. but there's still some massive overvaluations. Most are in the private market, by the way, not in the public market.
Well, Joe, so speaking of tech, I mean, Alphabet has been the best story of the last few months in terms of this trade. It's defied a lot of expectations. It hits another record high today. It's up 11% alone since Gemini 3 launched last week. It was the only Mag 7 name positive last week. It's had a larger market cap than Microsoft for the first time in 7 years. That tells a lot, and if you need more, co-founder Larry Page, he's now the world's second richest person, passing Larry Ellison. So that's been a pretty good story, and that's one of the stocks that you own.
So I think what's happening is that we're looking at the AI trade and we're trying to understand who is going to deliver the quickest on the ROI. And I think in the case of Alphabet, they're giving you the evidence that they might just be that stock that does it for you. Gemini 3 seems to be something that's certainly changing the story dramatically. I think in addition to that, it's the TPU chips that are obviously being utilized in the AI infrastructure. So it's the confluence of the TPU chips, Gemini 3, Google Cloud, and then you go beyond that, you look at Android, you look at Waymo, and you look at YouTube, and you see this very diversified conglomerate that came into the year with significant questions surrounding an antitrust ruling and the fact that ChatGPT was going to cannibalize search. Now you've seen a reversal in that sentiment, a rebuilding of position. And to your point, when you look at the Mag 7, it really is only NVIDIA and Alphabet that's outperforming the S&P so far year to date. So we're seeing kind of this narrowness in the Mag 7 and the opportunities.
Becoming more, as Citi says, idiosyncratic, right?
Yeah.
Which they think continues into the new year. In that,
So they're just pumping Google. All right. So let's work our way through this and see where it's at. But not bad. Lowest bond yield since October. Mark Kelly after he urged members. Oh, that's who it is? Yeah, they said that they're going to do a probe into him. But I didn't know he was one of the guys who did that last week. Remember, that was odd last week, the whole sedition drama. I kind of forgot about it. I mean, Trump said, we're not trying to kill them. That's not what I said. So yeah, I forgot about that. That was some drama. But yeah, Chad, we've been here now for what, 2.5 hours? Not bad. Euro closed now, fully locked in. NVIDIA's still holding up. I mean, I think Google is going to be the big one. Oh, Scripps confirms receipt of unsolicited proposal from Sinclair. Which one was that? Remember we saw one of those that was up like, which one was it? Not SSP. Was it SSP? Whoever this was, Scripps, I think this could have been it. Let me double check. Because remember you saw that one popping earlier. And then they halted it, but that might be in play. I don't know if that's the right company, though. Yeah, no, I think it is. SSP. It's a cheap stock, so you got to be careful. Oh, it's a decent amount. Scripps with fiduciary duties to carefully review and evaluate any proposal. It doesn't have a price. Yeah, that's the company though. And then Olma popping, that's another biotech. CNBC was talking, but no. We saw SSP earlier. So, remember I pulled this one up. It got like halted and came down, and then they unhalted it. And then I just got the confirmation there. The company said they received unsolicited proposal from Sinclair, and then they're going to carefully review and evaluate any proposals. So I don't know if they have more than one, but yeah. Decent for now, but the options are pretty scammy. That's what I was telling the chat. So you got to be careful on that. Tech X. Somebody at the front door? Oh, maybe. I think that's what that noise means. And then SPY's still kind of working its way down. I mean, Google gave up 2% from the high, but then Microsoft and Apple climbed, and then where's Amazon and Meta? Meta did good too, considering how much it got wrecked. Sinclair, not St. Clair. And then Whirlpool's still climbing too. That one's a good one. Dude, everybody like kind of ignored the whole David Tepper thing, but yeah, it's been up a decent amount since then. Oh shit. YouTube likeness. Grant YouTube permission to use biometric technology. Provide a government-issued ID and a brief video of your face to verify your identity. It will become active in 5 days. Oh man. Baba and JD? Oh yeah, what happened there? Did they say something about it? I just got an email from YouTube so that you could stop people from using your likeness. But I don't use my face, bro. What do I do, YouTube? That's kind of crazy. Kind of cool. Maybe should I start showing my face? Maybe I might. Yeah. Remember, we heard about this a couple weeks ago, but I just got the email. Pretty crazy. Oh yeah, what's your boy? How's Tom Lee handling all this? Is Tom Lee good, you guys? way back down. That suck. But for now, I mean, we are still in Chop City. Big tech, Apple and Microsoft did a little better. Now Palantir too. The mid tech are doing great. I mean, I would like to say Broadcom's mid tech, but they're not. They're huge now. But yeah, it's 9:15. Nvidia's still holding. I'm gonna keep that one up there. Open Door again. Didn't they offer like a dividend or something? It sounds like they want to be the one to take the likeness away. It's a very interesting thing. But yeah, I mean, every day, even I think in Australia, they're already doing it. But you guys remember the Metal Gear Solid tin? I mean, every day you do get closer to, especially with all the AI and now Nana Banana. Yeah, it's, you're getting closer to the whole internet verification thing. And then did you guys see the drama over the weekend? Twitter now released a feature where it shows you where an account was created and like where they're based out of. So over the weekend, there was a lot of drama because pretty much you got dude, it's like a trend. Well, you should have already known this, but yeah, there's a lot of accounts that just it's like people pretend to be American and they're not. And like even, it goes on both sides. There was like a bunch of these like news, Trump, MAGA updating accounts. They were all based out of like fucking India and Nigeria and Turkey, and then vice versa. There was the Democrats. It was odd because they had like personalities and like guys who were like so like, you know, anti-Trump and all about America, but then they weren't even American. Like there was like one guy who was like, I'm waiting in line to vote for Kamala, and like, yeah, he probably wasn't. And then they found other shit too, but yeah, that was a big drama over the weekend. Yeah, it should. I mean, I think it's really good. I mean, it doesn't mean that like people don't have an opinion. You know, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but you know, there's a lot. Remember, I was telling like a lot of actors, like a lot of people just LARP around. I mean, again, even in crypto, like you just got to see a lot. Like it's just that you just have people acting. They're just live action role playing as something, or like it's just so weird. But you should have known this. Now you just are able to confirm it. I'm looking at you, Chad. You better watch out till YouTube gets that. I know some of y'all LARPing. I think I would argue like 10-15% of like the political conversations and that you've like dealt with Chad, like I don't think they're American. That's the crazy part. And like they have an opinion on American politics. I think that happened. Remember during the election, I was like, you're Canadian. Why do you what? September PCE personal income scheduled for December 5th. Lude pause to volatility. Lude, prelude. I know, bro. People got mad on Twitter about it. Because, I mean, again, it's not, like, that's a crazy concept, bro. Like, imagine there's people who have built careers off of American politics and saying they are American and they're not. And then it just goes to show, like, just a lot of the, you know, when they're like, America's divided, it's like, not really. People just get paid a lot to rage bait. Like, that's it. You guys know that, right? It's just like a rage bait industry. That's it. That's all it is. It's like there's like one guy on Twitter who just like, he just posts shit to piss you off. And if you interact with it, that's the business model. So, but yeah, there was like, America's not that divided, I guess. I think the people making it seem that way don't even live here. I think they should just not pay out political content. That's it. If they just made it where you can make money on everything except political content should be non-profit. Oh, Ethereum. All right, guys, you're still kind of edging up here. NVS on the low. Didn't they just build a plant in the U.S.? Well, yeah, be careful too. And then that's why, like, yeah, I'll tell you this. If you're on Twitter and then you read like certain comments, even if it's like financial, you could just go and see where it comes from. So like, it's because it's just like, I've even seen like the same reply over and over again on like finance content and like rates. And again, the accounts are just based in Nigeria or Turkey. Now, there is people in foreign places involved in markets, but, you know, you see the same thing over and over again. You should go see where it comes from. All right, you're moving up now. Still a little bit of broadening out. The Qs are moving. Nvidia's still up. I mean, Google just went back up another 1% from that little sell-off there. So those are all waking back up, and then the mid caps and everything in between are going up. Hi! You're almost fully maxed out on the high ticker. All right, you're about to hit a new high. Again, this is above 6,700, right? I think it's right there at the mark. Yeah, 66.96. High today, 69.99. 69.99 coming into Thanksgiving. CMG, did you just make that public? Oh? What's good info? Where's Banks 2? Remember, Banks started off weak. And then where's even the MSTR debacle? I mean, it helps that crypto's up. Isn't gold and silver up too? Yeah, a little bit. Silver up more than gold. And then SPY again right below the high, but kind of tweaking out. Bonds are going up with it, though. We rallied more when bonds were selling off and just held the gains, but still. See, it's good. But that's why, man, we are moving towards the era, especially after banana. We're entering in the era where, like, trust in real goes a long way. And then that's why, man, if I thought a lot of, you know, I was telling y'all, you need to be real. That's why I thought some of y'all were bots. So, I mean, the truth is coming out. So I do hope that, you know, that's why, man, if you can keep your reputation, it goes a long way. That's why, like, you remember when I would ban people and I call it out and I'd be like, how come that's the only thing you responded to today? We would have a 5% day in the market. Nothing would make them respond. You say anything about Trump or Biden or politics, or happy Thanksgiving. So yeah, man, It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see, though. I hope it sucks because eventually the internet, you're not going to be able to get on without verifying that you're a human or where you're from. But yeah, Ethereum is going up. Ethereum, even Bitcoin, silver, gold. But yeah, we're moving towards the verification. But it's going to be nice in a weird way. I don't like it, but then again, it's better to have genuine interactions, considering most people do interact on the internet nowadays. Yeah, Ethereum's really going. That's Solana too. The healthcare. Yeah, all the cryptos are going up. ETH is leading the way. You guys lived through an amazing moment. So yes, man, trust and accuracy above all. Because until they mandate it, though, I hope you see the value in all that. Blackline, were they buying someone or getting bought? That could be one of those rumor plays from back a couple weeks ago. INHD halted of 330. And bonds starting to climb. See if market either sells off or goes up with it. And then again, you have a lot of crypto and commodities moving up. Where's the dollar? The dollar is up. So even then, as bonds are climbing, dollar climbing, and then SPY, I mean, is everything getting a bid? Social credit for online interactions. It could happen. I mean, it's already getting, I forgot, I think it's in Australia, because the age verification, you already need an ID, I think, to go on YouTube or something like that. So even then, that would be a major step. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely moving in that direction. I yawned. Chauncey Billups went to court today. Damn, his bail was set at $5 million. Pleaded not guilty to wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. Boys. Oh, I thought it was about to rip. It's either going to get out of here or you're going to get your little dump. But like I'm saying, it's already, what, 9:30 now? So you've gone past most of the timelines. Scale AI reportedly loses U.S. Intel contract bid to smaller startup. I don't know who that is. Scale AI. But yeah, after this, as long as we don't, it sucks that the dollar and the bonds are up. But nothing else is really flashing red. I mean, look at the low tickers kind of slowing down a lot. Not bad. How would it work with a VPN? It's based on your app store, I think, part of it. But then, yeah, the whole plan, like even with Australia, the idea is it's just, I think you guys should see it. I don't know when it's going to happen, but just with all the deep fakes, Nana Banana, and the way like AI is going, like they're just gonna make you have to put a ID. You're gonna need a government issued ID to access the internet. I think that's what the world is heading towards. But I think with the whole App Store or the Twitter thing, they just use the App Store. So it's like you could use a VPN, but your App Store on your phone where you download stuff, or again your computer, it'll be connected to, because you can't, even with a VPN, your app store would stay the same. Ironically enough. Because, like, that's why, like, even my girl, like, all her shit is in Switzerland still. So she has a US phone, but, like, her app store is still connected to Swiss. That's how we could get some shows sometimes early. Because then if it comes out in Switzerland, that's why, like, so, like, when Uncle releases a track, it shows up on my girl's phone, like, 16 hours prior. Because her iPhone is on the App Store of Switzerland. You notice App Store now asks for card info to download? I wasn't always like that. You hate to agree, but the internet needs that level of verification. Dude, I hate it. I don't want to agree with it at all. Like, I'm telling you, as someone who, like, I was an OG Bitcoiner, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the privacy, all of it, bro. Like, I'm a big fan of, you know, the open source, the open world, but sadly, I've had a crazy experience on the internet where seeing how it's, like, gone, I mean, I kind of do agree with it. But then I do, like, it is a very slippery slope. And then it's gonna, like, it's just very limiting to certain ones. You don't agree, they'll choose what you could see and say. I know. That's the sad part. They've created the problem and now offering the solution. I know. It sucks because, like, you know, even then in the chat, you're like, oh, that's how you know they're, like, bots. And some of them would be bots and, like, foreigners. But at the same time, like, some people are just idiots. Like, don't forget that. Like, is it mostly, like, bots and scammers trying to do stuff? Yes. But then, like, it's already contagious, man. It's already spread to people. Pentagon says Kelly could be called to active duty for court-martial. That's reiterated. What did it say? Serious misconduct allegations against Democratic U.S. Senator. They're reiterating that one. No, there's more downside risk in it. Because like you say, it's going to limit what people say, what they could see, and then it leads to, like, social credit, all of that. It just leads, then start fucking, what's his name, Oracle. Everybody has to be on their best behavior. It was definitely, imagine the COVID events of the world, you know, everybody will have to be on the same side. Because if you go against it, you'll literally get clapped. But, like, you like imagine it though. Like, think about it. When we invite people to the farm, you guys have to send in your ID. Like, for the stuff I want to do online, I would prefer it because it'd be a lot easier to help people on the internet. But then, yeah, just one of these days it's gonna backfire. Like, that's just the reality of it. You know, and the internet verification will be nice to, like, connect and have community. Because then it's good to know, man. It's good to know you're talking to a real person. Like, again, instead of people making 15 different accounts, pretending to be 16-year-olds and people doing shady shit. But then, yeah, one of these days it will backfire. If identity theft would get worse? Oh, yeah, right? Because then there'd be an incentive to steal people's identity beyond just the normal ones. You could access the internet on their account. Yeah, you do. You get Gemini free or Gemini Pro as a student account. I think you get, like, half off Gemini Ultra. And then Gemini Ultra, I think, comes with YouTube Premium. Hold on. Got a phone call. Please hold.
Ever. We'll assemble our panel next. We haven't even talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Stay with us right here on Bloomberg.
All today, it's covered in more than 5,200 Waterford crystals, nearly twice the amount of its predecessor. It's also slightly larger and has nearly twice as many lights. This is the city's 9th New Year's Eve ball since the tradition began in 1907. Only the best for 2026.
All right, Les, thank you. All right, coming up next, we'll go global in today's ETF Edge, where you can find the best opportunities outside the U.S. We're back after this.
Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a call, baby. Hey. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you've been scared. Big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear. Oh dear, who you trying to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah. It's done. Daddy said it's finished. Made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it. Set apart from the start, and the heart isn't ours. It's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the ark. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god. Then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib. But for a second, keep it real, it's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing they want death to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now. Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I can live. I have an idea. I don't know if this is politically correct. Well, kind of, but so I'm scheduling these people to come to the farm so I could like get this erosion shit taken care of. And like I have a bunch of people bidding on it. I put up a project, but like I usually bring them in like one at a time. But like, what if I turned it into like a game show? Lace, Decent Pop, and Qubit. What's up with all these? Lace, Qubit, Palantir, a couple of quantum names, and then Lace isn't that related to like drones? But I was like, what if I bring them all at the same time? And like I make them compete and see who's the scammer or not. But then I feel like, because there's some people on there that responded, and I'm like, they don't look like they have experience, and I feel like they're just gonna tell me yes. So, but yeah, what if I brought them what if I put like 5 to 10 contractors, and then I ask them who's gonna do it, and I have them all give me a bid and analysis all at the same time. And then hold on, I'm gonna play this real quick.
Back on Halftime Report, I'm Contessa Brewer with today's ETF Edge. Good to see you. Many ETF investors think the Fed's December rate meeting is the final hurdle to clear in 2025 before moving on to 2026. But our next guest believes in an out-of-consensus view that we're already in a new market cycle. Joining me now is John Davi, CIO at Astoria Portfolio Advisors. John, good to see you. Why do you think we've already moved on? This is a new cycle.
For the last 25 years, whenever I have seen the Fed cut interest rates, that always signified a new market cycle. The Fed cut 4 times last year. They've cut a couple times this year. And then if you just look at actually what has worked this year, you see emerging markets up 27%, developed international markets up 27%. You know, asset classes that benefit from like the debasement trade, whether it's, gold. We run a strategy, PPI. It's a real assets fund. Gold is up 54%. Our PPI ETF is up 24%. And if I just look at U.S. sectors, banks, they benefit from, steeper curves, higher interest rates. They're up 19. XLI is up 17. All these different sectors and asset classes have, significantly outperformed the S&P 500. So I think the market has clearly told you that you need to evolve your portfolio.
What do you think that how should investors position portfolios now, especially if they're late to the party?
I don't think we're late because, for the last 5 years, it's been about one trade, Mag 7, large cap tech and growth. Nobody wanted to buy, emerging markets, developed international markets, real assets. And, we've argued for the last 4 years that we're going to be living in a structurally higher inflation world. We're still 50% above the Fed's inflation target. To get us back down to 2%, Fed would have to hike rates. They're doing the opposite. And again, whenever the Fed cuts rate, that usually sends the market into a new, cycle.
We're just getting started, John. Thank you for that. We're going to continue the conversation over at etfedge.cnbc.com. And John will be joined by Sophia Massey, the CEO of Line Shares. Scott, I'll send that back to you.
All right, Contessa, thank you. Contessa Brewer, still ahead. Healthcare just did something it hasn't done since 1998. We'll tell you what that is and how Josh Brown's playing it. His best stocks in the market is up next.
For on-demand news 24 hours a day, subscribe to Bloomberg News Now wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Amy Morris. That's a Bloomberg Business Flash. Let's go back to Balance of Power with Joe Matthew.
All right, Amy, thank you so much. Not a bad way to start the week here. Everybody's going to forget that sell-off day after NVIDIA earnings pretty quickly. And of course, NVIDIA has a lot to do with China at the moment. We discussed this a little while ago with comments today from Howard Lutnick, speaking on Bloomberg Surveillance today about the decision facing President Trump when it comes to selling China high-end NVIDIA-made AI chips. Not the Blackwell, but the H200. That's the current deliberation happening inside the White House. And maybe the phone call helped. If you're just joining us, they did talk today. Trump and Xi on the line. We've been waiting a couple of hours now for a readout on this. It was just a stray headline. What do you mean they talked this morning? Usually there's a big drumbeat leading up to a meeting like that. There was nothing this time except word that they had spoken. Well, here we go. Look no further than Truth Social. I just had a very good telephone call with President Xi of China. President Trump writing. We discussed many topics, including Ukraine, Russia, fentanyl, soybeans, and other farm products. We have done a good and very important deal for our great farmers, and it will only get better, he says. The call was a follow-up, he writes, to our highly successful meeting in South Korea 3 weeks ago. Since then, there's been significant progress on both sides in keeping our agreements current and accurate. Now we can set our sights on the big picture. All right, we're about 2/3 of the way through the post, and this is where we get to the news. President Xi invited me to visit Beijing in April, which I accepted. And I reciprocated, where he will be my guest for a state visit in the U.S. later in the year. We agreed that it is important we communicate often, which I look forward to doing. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, hold this thought, because this is what happens here in the noontime hour on Balance of Power. Every story for the day all breaks at the same time. Producer James working overtime in the control room, feeding me the headlines. Judge has just dismissed the case against James Comey and Letitia James. We're red now? Look at that, red on the terminal. AP News alert, judge dismissing cases against James Comey, of course, the former FBI director who the president directed his attorney general to investigate and indict.
Stocks in the market.
Letitia James, the New York State Attorney General, after finding the prosecutor
of the XLV
was illegally appointed
on Friday. It's happened only 34 other days going back to the inception of it. since 98.
Hold on, we're going to get into FILO after
from a bread thrust.
Yeah,
like
still on the
that's what
phone.
that is,
He put
basically,
me on
but on a
hold.
sector basis.
Please hold.
It just tells you
Trump
the
accepted
level
the
of
China
institutional
G. So again, did you guys hear what he was saying
coming
though?
in. 21%
Yeah.
of all the
They were
components
talking. I
in the
think it might be
XLV
the chips
made a
instead of the
52-week high
healthcare.
on Friday.
But yeah, you're getting
They are
that headline
buying
right
these
now.
names, and there's a
Trump
reason.
in April.
You get this really
Trump and G.
interesting grouping of sub-industries. And I'm going to talk about one of them right now. The life sciences, tools, and services names are set up beautifully both this year and next year from an earnings growth perspective. Most of these are recurring revenue businesses, which is Wall Street wants, and they're benefiting from an AI tailwind, but they're not wholly reliant on things like, I don't know, data centers, for example. So for growth investors that rode these traditional AI names up this year, now they want to switch. They want to buy cheaper stocks that also have that kind of recurring revenue profile. These are the names: Mettler Toledo, MTD. Stock broke to a fresh 52-week high. We're showing you 50 and 200-day here to make the point that these are uptrends that have been going on for most of the year. And when you saw that Golden Cross happen earlier in the summer, that told you something interesting was brewing, and then you got that follow through here. So we like that name. Citigroup's target is 1,700. That would be 20% higher. Thermo Fisher is the biggest name in the group, $220 billion market cap. This one is not quite there yet, as you can see, not quite over the February high from earlier this year, but you have a Golden Cross, and you have all the ingredients for a potential breakout. I feel pretty confident it'll happen. Everybody's watching those March, April highs. When it gets through, there's no sellers. It's an entirely different story. The last one is Agilent. Agilent spun out of Hewlett-Packard 26 years ago. Ticker symbol A. Looks exactly like Mettler Toledo. It's a $42 billion market cap, right in the sweet spot of that next tier of large cap stock, riding the 50-day beautifully. Look at it. Every challenge on the 50-day, the buyers came in exactly where they were supposed to, almost like it was a script. Meanwhile, you've got a vacuum. If it breaks this level, 140, you have to go back to 2021. It was at 180. You really have 40 points with no natural resistance. So I'm watching this one for a breakout as well. Mettler Toledo's all the way through. I think Agilent is next, followed by Thermo Fisher. They're buying these names because they like the business, they like the outlook, they're not terribly expensive, and it's time for some new blood in people's portfolios. What do you think?
Well, that's Weiss. He just gave you a couple of great trades.
He did, and I've been on the sidelines. Look, I think it'd still go. I mean, in an accommodative interest rate environment, healthcare is going to work, particularly biotech. And as I mentioned last week, until you see supply in IPOs or secondaries, there's nothing really to eat into that.
Look at that move from end of beginning of fall to now. Unbelievable, Joe. We've got a lot of exposure
Strongest momentum, 5, 30, 40-day time frame. I absolutely have a lot of exposure here today. 52-week highs, Eli Lilly, Biogen, Medtronic, McKesson. So money's coming in. IDEX Labs, which we own in Joe
IDEX is a great story.
Why don't you own Lilly? Why doesn't anybody own Lilly here?
We did own Lilly.
I know.
We were shaken out of Lilly. It's just too expensive. I mean, you just don't pay that for a drug company. Even if you doubled the historical valuation, you're still way, way above where it should be. So I just can't do that. And there's more competition coming onto the market for their primary drug. I just can't see it.
I think Lilly is more important symbolically. This is the first healthcare company to reach $1 trillion market cap. The fact that that's possible, I think, is leading to the momentum in the rest of the sector. People are waking up and saying, wait a minute, there are growth companies in this group that are not priced like microchip companies. They're not priced like semis, and they have that potential to do what Lilly just did. You look at the names on my list that we've done segments on all year, Judge: Alnilam, Gilead, Amgen, AbbVie. They all look great.
I've got some breaking news. I want to get to Eamon Javers. It's regarding the White House, and I've seen these headlines move. Tell our viewers what they are, Eamon.
Yes, Scott, President Trump says he's going to Beijing in April. This coming in a social media post just a couple of moments ago. The president giving a readout of his call with Xi Jinping of China earlier today. We saw both sides confirm the call this morning, but now President Trump is saying some of the details of what they discussed. He says they discussed soybeans and American farmers, and he also says President Xi invited me to visit Beijing in April, which I accepted.
All right, yeah, everybody's talking about it now.
Where he will be my guest for a state
He true socialed it. Way to go. You guys had that in the chat. GDP advanced estimate report canceled, or it's gonna probably be like the other one where they mix it in. But yeah, the April now in China. Trump added that mutual states visits in 25 will open a new phase of strategic cooperation. Something about Ukraine too. Because again, Xi Jinping made a comment on the Ukraine stuff. But yeah, Trump going to China in April. Remember, we haven't heard I feel like we haven't heard that China deal. Besant was saying in November. But yeah, that might be the best you're going to get. We'll watch K-Web and Baba, but that should solidify. I mean, until it gets overcrowded and leads to a sell. But I think that's stabilizing and solidifying the stabilization of today. Not bad, my friends. Not bad. I might as well set up the Philo. Yeah, but it's starting to circulate now. It seems like energy names are going up on that again. A lot of those have the bid, and then Google is coming back too. ACLX and Guild. Hey, yo, check ACLX and Guild. They're both kind of reacting like they have something. I'm going to check news on that. Those are to the downside. $9.18. 30 minutes ago, somebody sold something, a cancer program to them. And then ACLX. Arcelix. That's weird. Cure too. A couple of bios are getting knocked right now. Some more than others. Again, ACLX just took literally 8% down. You don't like that in the contracting community? Yeah, I don't do that. But I need to get this done. I don't want to go back like 5 times. That's why I'm like, can y'all just all meet me on the same time and date? Make this easy. But yeah, I have them at different times for now. Again, Guild, ACLX, and then everything else. I don't know what's going on with ACLX, but market taking it. I wouldn't even say it's like reacting crazy. It's just continuing the nice little melt up. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know if they're the ones who sold it. Arcelix is American, but they got a FDA orphan thing last week. That Kite and Gilead. Oh, Kite and Gilead work with them on there. And then there's the GDP news. But I don't get why it's selling off. They might be selling off the unit, but then Gilead bought something else, but something related to melanoma. But it seemed like they only had good news. Man, you're still working your way up. You are above 69 or 6,700 on the SPX. So again, I think 13 and then 21, 22. And then at that point, I mean, the only gap to fill is 68.40. And then if you get here's like the bottom 67.30 to like 67.60, that's where you started on the NVIDIA history day that we got clapped on. buying puts on this lovely day? What country are you from? Where you from, dog? Lift up your shirt. Show me you got tattoos. Where you from? Hold on. Yeah, man, we're not. This is not the chat room for that. You see how nice and peaceful it is? This is a no bot zone. If you're a real human, I hope you follow all the rules. CME Group crypto complex reaches all-time daily volume record. No way. Yeah, I speak of the devil. Ethereum's on the high. All right, Nvidia chilled out a little bit, but still not bad. And then Google's coming back up. That just killed those out of the monies, but then they're still actually holding pretty decent. And then and then did you guys hear it too? So I think the call gave you China, but it sounded like they were talking about the executive order there for a little bit. Yeah, again, I think last week, I have the chart. So after last week's fiasco, everybody getting worried about MSTR. Is this it? Yeah. The second largest crypto outflow from crypto funds on record. That was last week here in November. Or really the last 4 weeks too. It's been an ugly one. Costco on the low. So you've still got a couple of good staples that held up. They're going down. I haven't looked at the equal weight. Equal weight's still going up, but a lot that were kind of safe last week, those are the names that are really selling off. And then the mid-tier, a bigger tier that were really beaten down, they're the ones doing good. So you're just rotating back after that little safety rotation on Thursday, Friday. And then Bitcoin too, that one's still running. Bitcoin, Ethereum, I mean, look at the high ticker, you're almost fully gassed out. Have you heard the stuff that companies with more than 50% in Bitcoin will be delisted? No, I don't think they would want to do that. Like, I'm pretty sure Trump and Mr. Besant, I think they're down with it, but that'd be crazy. If MSTR got delisted, that would be insane. Microsoft says Forest 7B is now live on Microsoft and Hugging Face, integrated with Magnetic UI. Forest 7B, first agentic small language model built for computer use. And then there's a headline on NASA and Boeing. And then IBM on the high. You're getting another round. A lot of cryptos moving right there. So again, we were just talking about that, but no, the crypto stuff is getting really hot. That's the second half of this. Yeah, Bitcoin, iBit, Ethereum, they're all kind of going a little crazy there. Oh, you got a 2-year auction. 3489 when issued. See, that could help it out. Bonds are up on the long end. Excuse me. Do you lose money on your delisted stock? No. You still own it, you just can't trade it. I mean, how many people owned what was it? Yandex? You remember, it's funny because that wasn't that long ago. But during the Russia-Ukraine war, there was actually Russian stocks on the stock market. I don't know if you guys knew that. There was a couple, but the biggest one was Yandex. And then they even had Russian ETFs, dude. You used to be able to buy a Russian ETF. But Yandex was the big Russia company. And yeah, your shares you got delisted. You still technically owned them, but you were just not allowed to trade them, nor was there a market to trade them. So yeah, on the screws came in 3489. So yeah, but yeah, you can. Oh yeah, Luke and Coffee got delisted. Yeah, you still own your Russian ETF. Technically speaking, I mean, I think it's still sanctioned, but hypothetically, if they ever ended the war and then they relisted them, you should own something. Like you own it on paper somewhere. Yeah, Nibis was actually Russian stock. That was pretty much Yan, but then they converted it to a European company, or they did it weird and like it's domiciled now in the UK. But it's yeah, that was another one. So in that case, people would still own MSTR. They're just, I don't know. Even if they it would probably go OTC. Jack in the Box on the high. 2 tacos and ranch. Huh? That long-term wowie. I just heard that song. It came up on an ad. Now I have Kid Cudi stuck in my head. Oh, well, look at the time. And then, bro, it's a holiday week, you guys. I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for freedom. I'm thankful for online verification. No, I'm not. I don't like it. Markets closed on Thursday. And then the other one is Black Friday's a half day. Okay. CNC dropping, a little bit of a cheek lay. Check any of the other healthcare stocks. Your first stock was a Russian style. Wow, that must have been the experience. Did you sell it before it got delisted? But yeah, even if you didn't, you still own it somewhere. Maybe one day it'll be there. Dude, I saw a lot of people doing the Christmas shopping. Oh, dude, I got to do an angel tree. I was so happy I finally found one. I went ham on it. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I kind of want to like make one. I want to do more. But yeah, I did the angel tree. But dude, everybody was really shopping. And then I put my tree up. We haven't got it decorated yet, but we got the tree up. So all looking good. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I don't even know the fucking song. All right. Well, it's time we go to Philo. Yeah, man. Thursday is Thanksgiving. Yo, CNC getting clapped. So I don't know if they're going to miss out on anything related to it. Watch for either flush or a drop in pop. But yeah, again, I don't know. That means, let me check the other ones. Yeah, even Oscar's starting to go down. That means the fucking bill, the rumor might get washed. CNC has more meat on the... Literally, they're dropping now. Oh, they already moved them up. All right, don't go for the ask, but it'll get you one below. I grabbed a small one just in case. Yeah, literally, CNC just lost 5. Oscar just lost 15. Yeah, White House to delay healthcare proposal. Yeah. No, that's what the headline is. So all those, again, we talked about this morning. That's what we said. If it does good, then that'll be fine. Watch NVIDIA, though, then. So then that means it's going to be probably NVIDIA at the end of the day. But Oscar and CNC to the low. HCA big on that, all of them. I saw the first candles and then we got the headline confirmed. But yeah, actually HCA has the most meat on the bone. They're doing a little better. That one might be a better one. I got the other one pretty cheap. Oh wow, that's expensive. Hi. Yeah, there's no real good options on that. HCA would be the best one because of the price. But again, if you are willing to bid around, you could have got a decent one. It's kind of bouncing. Dude, they just got slashed, dude. That sounds... See, I'm glad I didn't take the CNC. Now we could buy the calls if it goes down a little bit more. And then watch if NVIDIA gets a bid now, because then that raises the odds and probability of the one at the bell. They might still talk about it, but yeah, that's what I think it's going to be. Or again, if that's just a rumor too, then it's going to go all over the place. But yeah, that has been it. That's been the main story of the day here. When do you hear the Uncle Christmas song? I don't know. Maybe next year? Maybe 2026 Christmas? No, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll find out. Sooner rather than later, I hope. But Chad, on that note, we gotta go. It's time for Philo. It's coming from MS Now, former MSNBC. Oh. So, yeah, if you guys would like Philo, talk about life. I mean, it's a good day. You got stabilization, 2.6 on the NASDAQ. You know what I'm I'm saying, bro? It's not a bad day. If you want to talk about life following the weekend, coming into Thanksgiving, you let me know. You let me know, brother. So I will see you guys there. God bless you all. And yeah, don't go if you don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? If you're a real human. OpenAI introducing shopping research. And then Wells Fargo ripping too, and Whirlpool. All right, man, you got a lot. Look at the high ticker. So we'll go to the video. It'll take you there, or you could click on the link. It's free to join and listen. So I hope I see you there. Goodbye.